Chapter 1. Emergency Report. Emergency Report. The association is determining the disaster level. Boom. Boom. A flash of white light was accompanied by a violent explosion, and the live broadcast of the TV in the distance had lost the signal. Boom. Another dazzling ball of light quickly crossed the sky, instantly raising a 10-story building to the ground. Humanity. Earth's virus. Zinni. An indigo figure rose from the ground and soared into the air. It was 10 feet tall, with muscular body, 2 long tentacles on its head, and it flashed with light from time to time. A stream of light passed by, and dazzling white balls of light appeared one after another beside this monster. And as this weirdo waved his arm, one after another, balls of light tore through the sky and hit the city below it like rain. In a short while, a corner of the originally prosperous and bustling city turned into a ruin. Countless citizens screamed and fled in all directions. But at the same time, there were also some figures going against the current, bravely passing through the crowd and moving quickly towards the direction of the monster. Great. It's Smiling Superman. We are saved. It's over. Smiling Superman was hit by the monster. Great. It's Lightning Max. His roundhouse kick is very powerful. He will definitely defeat the monster. Oh no. Lightning Max couldn't even get close to the monster. Spring beard. Crescent thick eyebrows. So many heroes have failed. Who will save us? Tao Qian was also approaching the monster. He was as light as a swallow, walking on the ruins as if on flat ground. With the cover of the ruins, he successfully came not far below the monster. He raised his head and observed the majestic monster in the air with the help of the reflection of half a mirror. Vaccine Man. Disaster level. Dragon. Advertisement. Is this the destructive power of a dragon-level monster? Wow, it's really powerful. Looking at the Vaccine Man who kept firing energy bombs in the air, there was no fear on Tao Qian's face, but a hint of expectation. As a scientist, he is always full of curiosity about unknown creatures. I really want to capture it alive and dissect it to see. It's a pity. Tao Qian's eyes flashed with a haze. Although he has been in the world of One Punch Man for several months, he has also awakened the entry plundering system. He can plunder and copy entries from opponents who have been killed or defeated. However, due to objective reasons, Tao Qian's current strength is still unable to defeat the dragon-level monster alone. First, it is not so easy to encounter a dragon-level monster. Second, the entries dropped after the monster dies are not permanently retained and will disappear after a period of time. And this time, the appearance of the Vaccine Man. It is the best opportunity in the past few months. The opportunity to pick up leaks. With a burst of rapid roars, Tao Qian's ears suddenly sounded. Boom, 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 boom. The sound was getting closer and closer until it was deafening. Tao Qian also smiled knowingly and looked over. A tall, hooded figure was shuttling through the ruins, looking for something. King. Anyone who has watched the original drama knows that King's Emperor engine is extremely powerful. As long as he is in danger, the bald devil will appear soon. Sure enough, in the ruins, a little girl holding a doll burst into tears, crying for her mother. The Vaccine Man who was wreaking havoc on the city seemed to have heard the noise here. The next moment, it fell straight to the ground. With a grin, it stretched out a ferocious claw towards the little girl. Squeeze hard. The imaginable touch and sound of blood and flesh turning into mud did not come out. At that critical moment, an extremely fast figure flashed by quickly. Save the little girl from the crisis of death. Advertisement: the bald devil. Here. The Vaccine Man looked puzzled. This is the first time that someone has survived from it. Who are you? The bald man had a dull expression. A person who is interested in being a hero. What? What kind of weird setting is this? The Vaccine Man was instantly furious, and after a bunch of self-righteous nonsense, he directly entered the second stage of transformation. Interest. You actually said it was an interest? Just because of this reason, you are against me, the apostle of the earth. Sheena. Pa. The bald man stood there, with an innocent look on his face. Accidentally, I got rid of it with another punch. Hole. Just as the bald devil smashed the Vaccine Man with a punch, a sound of Huangzhong de Lu suddenly echoed in Tao Qian's ears. Found lootable entries. Earth Apostle, Orange, a powerful life form born under the influence of the Earth's will, with an extremely strong physique, and has extremely fast recovery ability under the protection of the Earth's home environment. Entry effect. In the Earth environment, physical qualities are improved by 300%, and the recovery speed is accelerated by 500%. Energy Storm, purple, can generate energy bombs with powerful destructive power and use them to destroy enemies. Entry Effect, can generate up to 100 energy bombs in 1 second, and can also accumulate to generate more than one powerful energy bomb. Defender, Guardian Transformation, purple, release all energy to enter the second stage Guardian form, and continue to significantly improve physical fitness and recovery ability in the Earth environment. Item Effect, in the Earth environment, all physical qualities are improved to 500%, and the recovery speed is accelerated by 1000%. Environmental Guardian, pollution, an extreme environmental protector. Any non-natural creation should not exist in his eyes and should be eliminated together with its creator. Item Effect, increase damage by 50%, but significantly reduce sanity by -90%. Orange Item, what is a surprise? This is a surprise. You know, he has picked up leaks many times in the past few months, and the highest level item he picked up is only purple. This is rich now. Chapter 2. Plunder. As Tao Qian's mind moved, several light balls that others could not see were analyzed from the scattered remains of the vaccine man, flying into Tao Qian's body. As the Earth Apostle entry was plundered by Tao Qian, a wonderful feeling also rose from his heart. Mother Earth. He stood on the ground, and the ground under his feet seemed to be a huge mother body. A broad and wide love surrounded Tao Qian from all directions. The endless energy surrounded him, wrapped him warmly, constantly widened his meridians, and transformed his neurons. In just a short moment, he felt that his strength had increased by at least 10 times. Name, Tao Qian. Race, human/evolved, disaster level, middle dragon, kill points, 8,848. Dependents, none. Entries, Earth Apostle, orange, Energy Storm, purple, Guardian Transformation, purple, Horse Endurance, purple, Ant Strength, purple, Leopard Speed, blue, Danger Sense, blue, Strong Muscles, blue, Slow Regeneration, blue, Photosynthesis, blue, Strong Skin, blue. Entry Library, Environmental Guardian, pollution, insect monsterization, pollution, plant monsterization, pollution, subhuman mutant, pollution, I'm bald but I'm stronger, blue, strong acid spray, blue, mechanical mind, blue, werewolf body, blue, insect face armor, blue, mantis blade, blue. Is it dragon level? Tao Qian muttered. Some of these entries were picked up by Tao Qian, and some were obtained by killing monsters by himself. In short, all the resources he encountered were transformed into nutrients for growth. In the past few months, Tao Qian quickly gained a foothold in this world with the help of the system and built his own laboratory. The 5 major functions of the system: plunder, copy, dominate, analyze, and upgrade. Plunder, as the name suggests, can plunder the entries on the enemy by killing them. Most of the entries on Tao Qian have this origin. Copy, you need to defeat but not kill the opponent, and you can randomly copy an entry owned by the opponent. Tao Qian once competed with Saitama in cooking skills, defeated Saitama's instant noodles with Buddha jumps over the wall, and obtained, I am bald, but I have become stronger, blue. Domination, you can transfer the spare entries in the entry library to your followers. Tao Qian has no followers for the time being, so he has not used it. Advertisement, the final analysis, and upgrade both require the consumption of kill points. Analysis can split the entries, and upgrading can improve the color of the entries. Tao Qian once analyzed a mechanical monster, pollution, and thus obtained mechanical mind, blue, and an intelligent AI program. And the entry colors, except for the special pollution, are a total of 9. Gray, white, green, blue, purple, orange, gold, red, and 7 colors, from low to high. Just as Tao Qian felt the new power, the bald demon king also discovered him. Dr. Tao, we meet again. Saitama greeted Tao Qian with a flattering and expectant look. Have you eaten? The bald demon king asked with longing. Tao Qian just smiled and asked, Saitama-kun, you are still so powerful, how about it? Do you want me to study it? He crossed his arms and was not embarrassed at all. The bald demon king, who was invincible, was shocked when he heard this. Haha, the weather is so nice today. The two had met a long time ago, when Saitama first beat up a monster in front of Tao Qian. Tao Qian successfully activated the entry system, which provided him with the first pot of gold for his prosperity. After that, Tao Qian appeared near Saitama's house many times and successfully got many entries on him. After a battle, he even invited Saitama to eat ramen. For Saitama, who had to live in an uninhabited area due to his lack of money. This was like sending charcoal in the snow. The bald devil's view on making friends is very simple. If you can talk to him and are willing to treat him, you can be his best friend, even if the other party is a monster. As long as it does not endanger the safety of mankind, he will treat them equally. Over time, the two sides also have a good relationship. But don't be afraid, Saitama-kun, it's just a blood draw. Maybe I can find the reason for your hair loss? Tao Qian said to Saitama with a smile. The bald devil's expression changed, and he quickly covered his shoulder, looked around and found that no one was paying attention, and then ran away immediately. Advertisement goodbye, Tao Qian. I have something to do and I'll leave first. Hee. Tao Qian chuckled and turned back to see King standing in the pool of blood of the vaccine man's wreckage, surrounded by many heroes and flattering him. What an interesting world. Then, Tao Qian closed his eyes and felt the surging power in his body. Shwa. In the blink of an eye, he flew into the air. This is the power of the Earth Apostle. The wind can also be used by me. Feeling the airflow that lifted his body, Tao Qian disappeared without a trace the next moment. Z City. An underground laboratory. Tao Qian put on a white coat, stood in front of a high-power microscope, and carefully observed the body samples of the vaccine man he collected. TSK. It's really completely different from the cell structure of humans. Unfortunately, after all its entries were plundered by me, even the cells completely lost their activity and became pure dead things. He then opened the experimental notes beside him and recorded, Sample, Vaccine Man. Sample type, single-celled body evolved monster. Appearance conditions, 1. The anger of the Earth's natural world against human pollution and destruction. 2. Unknown. At this time, he thought of the environmental guardian, pollution, entry in his own entry library. He added a few more words to the end of the notes. This type of monster debris is highly polluting. If it is left in place and enters the sewer, it is very likely to give birth to more monsters. Just as Tao Qian continued to indulge in the experiment, a prompt sound suddenly sounded in the laboratory. Guest number 9527 requests to enter. Tao Qian narrowed his eyes, and a hint of ambiguity appeared on his face. Please let her in. Chapter 3. Dr. Tao, I'm glad to see you are safe and sound. The guest number 9527 is an extremely beautiful lady. She wears a close-fitting uniform, a long braid tied behind her head, and technological glasses, which makes her look very neat and tidy. When she saw Tao Qian, the lady blushed, and then walked towards him with her slender waist. After coming to Tao Qian, she stroked her hair very coquettishly. Dr. Tao, about joining the Hero Association. Not considering it for now. Tao Qian refused very straightforwardly. He now has strength, a laboratory, and research topics. He is busy every day, so why does he need to join the Hero Association? Let those so-called cadres who use chicken feathers as a token of authority drive him. Is it fun? 9527's face did not change when she heard this answer, as if she had expected this reply a long time ago, and it was just a routine invitation before. Well, Dr. Tao, I heard that you were at the scene when the monster disaster occurred in City A today. Do you have any new discoveries? When he said this, 9527's face showed a trace of eagerness and ambition. And about the project commissioned by Mr. Zenier, Tao Qian stretched out his finger, gently lifted the beauty's chin, and asked, Miss Emma, what kind of project are you asking about? That wealthy investor has entrusted me with many projects, such as the Superman project, the Immortality project, the Hair Regeneration project, and even the Money Automatic Copying project. It's a mess. Which one are you asking about? Emma was stunned. After a brief thought, she blurted out, It's a project about monsters jointly entrusted with the Hero Association. Advertisement. Oh, that's the superhuman project. Tao Qian shrugged and replied easily. There are certain breakthroughs. It doesn't matter if there is no progress. The association has enough patience for the doctor. What? No, doctor. What did you just say? Emma's face changed instantly, and she held Tao Qian's sleeves tightly with both hands. You just said that there is certain progress? Bingo, there is certain progress. Tao Qian snapped his fingers and said. Then he pointed to the liquid table in the center. A lavender potion flashed gorgeously under the light. Then, he opened his mouth and shouted, Jarvis, conduct the 10,086th experiment. Yes, master. As the AI synthesized voice sounded, a mechanical arm took out the medicine from the liquid table, took out a little white mouse at the same time, and injected the medicine into the little white mouse. Then, in Emma's horrified eyes, the body of the little white mouse swelled up instantly. The bright red muscle tissue tore through the skin barrier and appeared naked in front of the lady. In less than a minute, the palm-sized little white mouse swelled into a 1-meter-tall rat man in front of the two. But soon, the mutation of the rat man seemed to fall into a state of disorder, and the second head and the third head quickly grew out of its back. Then the mutation lasted for a quarter of an hour. The little white mouse first turned into a rat man, then into a pile of flesh and blood, and finally turned into a pool of blood under the action of the medicine and was collected again. How terrible! Emma hugged Tao Qian and trembled violently, wishing she could rub herself into his arms. Tao Qian shrugged. The duration of the monster transformation has exceeded 1 minute, but there should be some catalyst missing, which makes the mutation unstable. But he changed his mind and motioned Emma to continue looking at the operating table. I saw that the collected blood was filtered, added, and boiled by the mechanical arm. And finally a few bright red and crystal clear potions were remade. Advertisement. Tao Qian picked up a potion and held it in his hand, introducing it to Emma. The pollution of the monster has been consumed by the filtration of the mice, and the effects of these potions are very significant. It can slightly improve physical fitness, increase the vitality of cells in the body, and make people feel excited. After being injured, taking a potion can also increase the recovery speed, and the side effects are almost zero. Although the output is very low and the duration is limited, it can also be used as a phased result. He blinked at the beauty. Would you like to try one? Emma's eyes flashed with fear and desire, as well as surging ambition. Dr. Tao, me. Tao Qian's voice rang in her ears, like the temptation of the devil from hell. Without power, you can't even keep your position as the administrator of the 7th shelter. You can only be a liaison between the Hero Association and me. If you have a certain amount of power and a smart mind, think about your future. And according to the experimental results, the potion is extremely effective in beauty. As long as you are a woman, you can't resist the temptation of beauty. Emma's eyes flashed with a trace of ruthlessness and determination. Come on, doctor, use me to test the medicine. Bingo, a smart choice. Tao Qian smiled, then summoned a mechanical arm to inject the potion into 9,527 slender white arm. Emma watched the bloody and crystal liquid enter her body bit by bit, and Tao Qian's face and voice suddenly stretched in front of her, and the sound and picture jumped past her frame by frame. Soon this feeling subsided, and Emma felt that the world returned to its original state. No, not the original state. She was more sensitive to sound, and could even feel Tao Qian's breath blowing on her skin and seeping into her pores. Come, look at yourself. A mirror was brought to Emma. Seeing her skin in the mirror as smooth as a newborn baby, and all the acne and spots caused by working late at night disappeared, Emma's eyes were almost melted. Doctor, her voice seemed to be able to make honey. There is still time, why don't we? Tao Qian smiled knowingly. He also wanted to try the new power. Now proceed to the next research project. Miss Emma, I need your help. Doctor, your topic is really too grand. But, does the topic we are studying now have anything to do with your plan? Of course, as a scientist, no matter what topic it is, it must be involved. Chapter 4. There are many ways for monsters to be born, including but not limited to human mutation, technology introduction, non-human biological mutation, special intelligent creatures, and the creation of a certain god out of thin air. For Tao Qian, monsters are simply full of treasures. Not only can they drop entries and kill points after death, the remains after death can also be used for experiments. Tao Qian can analyze the entries by consuming kill points, thereby obtaining other resources including entries, especially some entries with the suffix pollution, each of which has extremely rich value. Who knows what surprises will be brought? And the upper limit of this world is very high. There are superpowers, mutations, evolutions, and aliens. It can be called a great treasure that can be dug endlessly. After discussing biological science with Miss Emma 9527, Tao Qian returned to the street. After he got most of the power of the vaccine man, Tao Qian's disaster level has jumped directly from the ghost level to the dragon level. Moreover, the effect of the Earth Apostle entry is omnipotent. As long as he is within the scope of the Earth, Tao Qian can exert his strength to more than just the middle dragon level. Even if he encounters an explosive dragon level monster, Tao Qian can use his regeneration ability to kill the opponent like Zombie Man. So, cook, tremble, human. I am the ancient crocodile King Gustav. My defense is so strong that even missiles can't break it. Human, become my food. A huge crocodile crawled out of the sewer and wreaked havoc in the city. Advertisement. The hero, Genji, who was patrolling nearby, turned the electric baton in his hand to the maximum power but couldn't hurt it at all. Instead, he was hit by its tail and flew out directly, breaking several bones. Another hero came to help from the other side. I am the Dark Flame Dragon Sword Master. Let me defeat you. As the crocodile continued to destroy, one A-level or B-level hero after another who came to support was knocked down by the monster. His defense is too strong. My Gatling Death Storm can't penetrate his scales. Death Gatling said while coughing up blood. Haha, is this the so-called hero's strength? The huge crocodile monster laughed wildly. That's all. Its thick tail swept hard and smashed half of the building on one side. The scattered rubble injured countless passers-by. Oh my god, is there no hero who can stop the monster? These heroes are too weak. I really don't know what kind of people our donations support. Dad, Mom. Listening to the many cries, the monster seemed to enjoy it very much. His pair of malicious eyes looked directly at the injured hero. Let me taste the blood and flesh of the hero. The crocodile monster opened his bloody mouth and swallowed the Genji and others who were lying on the spot. At the critical moment, a dazzling white light flashed. Bang! With a muffled sound, the white light ball directly opened a big hole in the crocodile monster's thigh. The smelly blood splashed, making the onlookers cover their eyes in fear. Who is it? Who is attacking the great crocodile King Gustav? The crocodile monster shouted in pain, but before it could react further, more light balls shot towards it. Bang, 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 accompanied by a short muffled sound. When many people opened their eyes, there was a loud bang. The originally ferocious crocodile monster had been beaten like a broken sack, and his half-broken body was unable to support himself and fell directly into the ruins. A group of people cheered immediately. Which hero saved us? It must be an S-class hero. Compared to S-class heroes, A-class heroes are just like trash. I told you. Monsters can never beat heroes. Advertisement, damn it. Long live heroes. At this time, Tao Qian had already cleaned up the mess, returned to the sky, and flew towards the next target. You killed the upper-level demon-level monster crocodile King Gustav and got 1,500 kill points. Found lootable entries. Ancient crocodile, purple, a giant creature left over from ancient times, with a super-large body, extremely strong bones and muscles, and super strength. It can even directly withstand the explosive force generated by missile bombardment and explosion. Entry effect. Transform into an ancient crocodile and inherit its power and bloodline. Super tough scales, purple. Produce extremely tough scales. Even high-speed machine gun bullets can be easily resisted, and even no traces can be left. Item effect. Grows extremely tough scales, providing an extra layer of defensive armor, which can resist attacks from monsters below the level of demon. Note. Internal injuries caused by shock cannot be avoided. Greedy devour, blue. Crocodiles have an excellent appetite and want to take a bite of everything. Item effect. By swallowing a large amount of food, you can slowly improve your physical fitness and injury recovery speed. SK. They are all useless. Except for Greedy Devour, blue. I will put them all in the item library. Tao Qian shook his head. Just as described in the entry introduction, many entries are bound to a series of conditions. For example, the ancient crocodile will turn into a crocodile after wearing it. For example, the mechanical mind will lose human emotions after wearing it. Like super tough scales, insect face armor, mantis blades, etc., they are closer to turning part of the body into a monster, so as to obtain corresponding enhancements. Of course, Tao Qian can analyze the entry by consuming kill points, and there is a certain probability of stripping out entries such as leopard speed and tough skin, but there is no need to rush. Tao Qian has his own plan for how to increase strength. After all, he is still a scientist. For some reasons, now it is easier for monsters to be born, and there are more and more monster attacks. He has plenty of time to make a choice. Tao Qian looked at the edge of the city in the distance, where there was smoke, and it seemed that another fierce battle was going on. Chapter 5. Hold on. Don't retreat. Don't embarrass Lord Fubuki. In a corner of City B, a group of heroes in neat black suits were confronting a monster. Wild Switch, the mountain ape, ranked third in Class B, roared, and his bursting muscles burst through his suit, making him one size bigger out of thin air. But this was his best skill, but it didn't let him last a few more seconds under the monster. Across from them was a monster with a boar head and muscular body. It punched the mountain ape, which was several sizes smaller than him, and flew away. Haha, is this a hero? Too weak. Defeat you, and the world will be ruled by me, the Wild Boar King. The Wild Boar monster waved his fists and repelled the Class B heroes who came up one by one. It was about to approach the short-haired queen surrounded by the crowd. Eyelash, who was protecting the woman, shouted loudly, "Damn it! The intelligence of the Hero Association is wrong. This is clearly a demon-level monster. No way. Master Fubuki, hurry up. Leave this to me." Eyelash swung his weapon, turned around and rushed forward. Eyelash transforms. Watch out. Thin membrane long cone. However, Eyelash is ranked second in B class. How much stronger can he be than the third-ranked mountain ape? The wild boar monster just waved his arms casually and hit Eyelash directly out. Damn it. There is no way to break the defense. Facing the crisis, Fubuki, who had been protected by everyone, could not hold back. All of you get out of the way. Watch my ultimate move, Hellstorm. As Fubuki activated his superpowers, a gust of wind was generated out of thin air, rolling up the scattered rubble on the ground, instantly turning into a tornado, and rolling towards the wild boar monster. But this superpower trick that can make countless people's skin and flesh burst, hitting the monster is like tickling. Haha, you know I'm itchy, so you came here to tickle me? The wild boar monster even stopped temporarily, standing there and letting the strong wind roll in. Countless rubble hit it with a crackling sound, but it did not cause any damage. Damn it, the gap in strength is too big. The Hell of Blizzard was already in despair at this time. The original information given by the Hero Association was that the opponent was just a wild boar leader who escaped from the zoo, and his level was only tiger level, but I don't know what he had experienced, and his strength at this time has been steadily improved to the ghost level. The attacks of all members of the Blizzard group hit the opponent, just like tickling it. Advertisement. Has the support from the Hero Association not arrived yet? Blizzard asked her subordinates loudly. Her heart was bleeding at the same time. Originally, the Blizzard group relied on collective action to ensure the success of the mission, and then everyone shared the hero points together and improved the hero ranking. But the monster encountered this time almost wiped out the Blizzard group in just a few minutes. Even if the monsters were finally destroyed by other heroes who came to support them, it would be hard for the Fubuki team to accept it. After all, there were no points, and the bonuses were naturally wasted. Many members had to go to the hospital for treatment. This was all money. Fubuki glanced at the second-hand car she rented. This time she lost a lot, and she might not be able to afford such a broken car in the future. When will she be able to defeat her sister? Master Fubuki, the association said that Master Metalbat is shopping in the nearby city and will arrive in half an hour at the fastest. Although Pig God lives in City B, there is no car that can take him here. It takes him an hour to run here. Fubuki was almost mad when she heard this. The fastest one will take half an hour? Are you coming to collect our bodies? However, even if the situation is already so dangerous, the heroes of Fubuki's group continued to go up and block the monster. After all, this place is not out of the downtown area. If they run away and let the monster cause huge casualties to the citizens, they should stop being heroes. Being a hero is both a profession and a responsibility. No way. Fubuki saw that the telekinetic trick could not break the monster's defense, so she gritted her teeth and stomped her feet. She took out a utility knife. Fight. However, even the mountain ape who was proud of his physical strength and the eyelashes with special weapons could not break the monster's defense. What damage could her small utility knife cause? She could only try her best. Go. Block it. The wild boar monster punched again and knocked the mountain ape that rushed again away. You should give up. Its green bean-sized eyes were fixed on Fubuki. Seeing this female hero with short black hair, tall stature, fair and tender skin, pretty face, slim waist and big breasts, and curvy figure, it swallowed subconsciously. Advertisement. The changes in its body seemed to change its aesthetics. I haven't tasted human women yet. Bang! The monster punched like the wind, smashing the surrounding buildings and throwing cement blocks to block the street. He surrounded the entire Fubuki group by himself. Let's have some fun. You are dreaming. Fubuki's face suddenly changed, and she rushed up with a utility knife. If you dare to touch me, my sister will not let you go. But the monster obviously hadn't heard of the reputation of the trembling tornado. It even laughed wildly. It would be better if the sisters come together. The battle had been going on for a while. Thanks to the efforts of the Fubuki group, the nearby civilians have been evacuated. But the monster's behavior just now made it difficult for the Fubuki group to escape. Do I have to rely on my sister to save me again? Fubuki was full of reluctance. But the huge gap in strength made her unable to have other ideas. Just as the monster was laughing and trying to catch Fubuki with his hands. Whoosh! A flash of white light passed by. My hand. The monster's hands disappeared, leaving only a bloody wound on his arm. Whoosh! 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 More white light shot out, just like the crocodile monster before. No, it was even worse than the crocodile monster before. The boar monster only took 4 or 5 energy bombs before his head was pierced. Then, a tall and majestic figure slowly landed on the ground. Dr. Tao? Tao? Fubuki asked in disbelief with her eyes wide open. Chapter 6. Tao, Dr. Tao, is this your latest invention? The hellish Fubuki stood beside Tao Qian. Her body movements and tone of voice were a little restrained. This was a mixture of worship, fear, admiration, and self-ashamed emotions, making her very uncomfortable in front of Tao Qian. Also, are you the hero assigned by the association to reinforce? While asking, Fubuki peeked at Tao Qian shyly, looking him up and down, trying to find the device that fired the energy bomb. That kind of high-tech weapon must be very expensive. Maybe one shot is enough for me to rent a luxury car for a day. Hehe. Tao Qian knew what she was thinking with his little head. I haven't joined the Hero Association yet. I'm just a specially appointed researcher of the association. I just passed by this time and came to collect experimental equipment by the way. As Tao Qian answered, Fubuki's eyes suddenly lit up. Without joining the association, killing monsters naturally won't get the corresponding points. Then, as the main force to resist the monsters, the contribution of her Fubuki team can also be testified by a large number of citizens. The points of this monster can be counted on you, Tao Qian said. Fubuki's smile became even stronger. Then I won't be polite, Dr. Tao. After that, she pointed at the heroes of the Fubuki team who were supporting each other, and her eyes rolled around. That? Dr. Tao, you see we are seriously injured and need to go to the hospital immediately. Want to run away after getting the benefits? Tao Qian smiled and stretched out his hand to block Fubuki's towering chest. What's the hurry? I haven't allowed you to leave yet. Fubuki's face was stunned, and she subconsciously wrapped her fluffy coat tightly. I won't let you do experiments. After that, she thought about it and added, my sister is even less likely. Tisk, it's as if I really want to use you for experiments. Tao Qian pouted. He really wants to. Although this world has been polluted in various ways, mutant monsters are emerging in endlessly. But superpowers are still extremely rare. As far as Tao Qian knows, there are people with similar powers. In addition to the trembling tornado and hell-blowing snow, advertisement there are only Sykes in the underground of City Z and Goryugenship in the Boros Pirates. Sea-level hero gear. In addition, the Uedu organization, which once imprisoned tornado and blowing snow for research, hoping to create a telekinetic person. The universe is so big, but there are very few people who use telekinesis. Tao Qian thinks that he can't suppress tornado yet. He doesn't have enough strength to catch Sykes alone. Goryugenship is still on his way to die. The Uedu organization is extremely mysterious, and it is difficult for him to catch its tail. Then his goal of studying telekinesis naturally fell on blowing snow in front of him. Who made her weak? Tao Qian reached out and took out a bright red and crystal medicine. It was the product of the previous laboratory, the oral version. He shook the medicine in front of blowing snow. I have recently developed a drug that can improve thinking activity, physical strength, and beautify the skin. But absent-minded Fubuki only heard the word beautify the skin. Using this to test a woman? Which woman can withstand the temptation of beauty? Fubuki took the potion without thinking and drank it all. She accepted all the benefits given by Tao Qian. She didn't want to pay the price at all. At worst, I can give him the Fubuki group as compensation. Fubuki's reaction and changes were slightly different from those of Miss Emma 9527 before. I saw a wave of waves around her body. A breeze was rolled up, and many fine gravels floated up from the ground without her active control. I feel like I'm a little stronger. Fubuki looked at Tao Qian with a fiery look in her eyes. She subconsciously crossed her arms and showed her proud advantages. Dr. Tao, I won't let you use me for experiments. Even if you tie me up and whip me, I won't agree. But I really need this medicine. What do you want me to do? Tao Qian shrugged. I want to tie you back, but I have to consider your sister's attitude after all. Advertisement, damn. If he hadn't been unable to beat them, he would have tied the sisters back and studied them day and night. Tao Qian thought for a while and said, "In this case, I have a commission for you." He nodded at the second-hand car rented by the Fubuki group. "Your Fubuki group is short of money." Fubuki looked serious. "Who said that?" "We are just thrifty." Tao Qian glanced at the precious fur on her body. "Then you can wear this and ride in a broken car." Fubuki blushed and stroked her hair. "What commission does the doctor want to give to the Fubuki team?" Tao Qian looked at the dried monster blood on the road. "Monster. To be precise, the remaining tissue of the monster. Collect the remaining body tissues of the monsters you have conquered and send them to my laboratory. I will buy them at a fair price." Fubuki frowned and muttered in a low voice, "Damn crazy scientist." Obviously, she thought Tao Qian wanted to use the body tissues of monsters to carry out some kind of horrific conspiracy. In fact, in this crazy world, such scientists are not uncommon. Whether it is the former genius scientist, Dr. Genos, the head of the House of Evolution, or the UDO organization mentioned above, they are all typical representatives. Even the Hero Association itself is secretly cooperating with the wealthy consortium to raise monsters. Compared with them, Tao Qian is as pure as a little white rabbit. Fubuki didn't think about it for long. Maybe she thought that the Lost Monster organization would not cause much harm. She nodded. "I know." Tao Qian raised a sly smile. "Don't underestimate the monster organization. The potion you just drank was extracted from it." Fubuki's eyes widened. Her chest rose and fell. Ugh. Chapter 7. Contact Emma. Your report says that Dr. Tao Qian used the cells of dead monsters to make a potion that failed to turn animals into monsters, and used the failed monsterized animals as raw materials to extract this strengthening potion, right? A serious meeting was taking place at the headquarters of the Hero Association in City A. All the participants were high-level officials of the Hero Association. The person being questioned was the beautiful staff member number 9527, named Emma. Even though this staff member had made sufficient preparations, she was still a little dry-mouthed due to nervousness when facing so many high-level officials of the association at the same time. "I am willing to take responsibility for every word I said." As soon as the voice fell, the high-level officials of the association who attended the meeting began to discuss enthusiastically. "I think Dr. Tao Qian's research is extremely dangerous. His irresponsible research will lead humanity into the abyss. I asked the association to immediately dispatch S-class heroes to eliminate Tao Qian and his laboratory." "I agree. I remember that decades ago, Dr. Genos also conducted similar research, and now Dr. Genos has become the head of the monster organization, the House of Evolution. I agree that monster cells have unknown dangers. No one can guarantee whether the medicine made with monster cells as raw materials has unknown dangers. What if the medicine he produces can turn normal people into monsters?" Some people agree, and naturally some people oppose. I object. With the current situation of the monster disaster getting worse and worse, it is almost impossible to completely eliminate the monsters, and the losses caused by the monster disaster are astronomical every year. But we still haven't found the reason for the birth of monsters, nor have we found a way to completely eliminate them. The financial situation of many cities is already overwhelmed, but I think Dr. Tao Qian's research topic provides us with a new idea to solve the problem. Instead of hoping to completely eliminate monsters, why don't we consider how to use monster resources? I second the proposal. At present, the association has cooperated with many wealthy people to jointly develop monster resources, but so far there are only functions such as hunting and collecting. However, Dr. Tao Qian has provided us with a more effective and promising direction. I think the association should increase the allocation of resources. Let Dr. Tao Qian develop safer and more functional medicines. I don't agree. This kind of research is too dangerous. We can't put our hopes on Dr. Tao Qian alone. We should put the entire research project under the full supervision of the association, so as to ensure that the research results are used by us. These high-level members of the Hero Association, who are usually well-dressed and righteous, are arguing red-faced and unwilling to give in to each other. Nothing else. Profits. Although the Hero Association was established only 3 years ago, advertisement, but because of the help of the monster disaster, the power of the association has expanded rapidly and has become one of the important organizations that influence human society. How do these mortal high-level people in front of us command those S-level heroes who can defeat dragon-level monsters and C-level heroes who have just passed the assessment and are not much stronger than ordinary people? It depends on money and resource allocation. Heroes also need to eat, live, and have family and friends. At least most heroes are like this. The Hero Association relies on various measures such as hero rankings, hero points, and hero assessments to organize a group of powerful people under the slogan of protecting humans, but there are some dirty deeds behind the scenes. But no matter how much profit these high-level people have made and how many powerful heroes they can command, they are still mortals. Mortals are afraid of death. The Hero Association almost always commands an S-level hero station at the headquarters. At the same time, just like the wealthy Xenier, who secretly funded other organizations to research combat uniforms, these mortals also desire power and desire to prolong their lives. Then, when Tao Qian can use monster cells to bring them hope of gaining power and prolonging their lives. Whether these high-level officials agree or oppose, their essence is to control Tao Qian in their own hands. While these high-level officials are fighting for the power to absorb or imprison Tao Qian, the latest intelligence is sent outside the conference room. According to different witnesses, many people in City B, City D, and City Y have seen a hero who can fly and defeat monsters everywhere. And according to the heroes present, the so-called hero who can fly is Dr. Tao Qian. It is said that Dr. Tao Qian has an unknown technological creation that can emit energy light balls and completely destroy ghost-level monsters in just an instant. Hearing this news, the voices in the conference room were solemn. Almost everyone's face became serious. Advertisement. After a long while, someone broke the silence. Haha, it seems that our specially appointed researcher still has many secrets. The arrival of this information completely eliminated the voices of the faction that detained Tao Qian. The ability to instantly destroy a demon-level monster is also an outstanding existence among S-level heroes. After thinking about it, a group of senior executives also felt that only Blast, Tornado, and Metal Knight could win. At this time, King had no record of fighting giants and had not yet been officially recognized as the strongest man on the surface of the Earth, but Blast Shenlong was nowhere to be seen, and only wanted to finish the Earth with the chairman of the Prophecy Countermeasures Committee Shichi, a single line of contact. As for Tornado, it was used as a bottom-line weapon, and there were rumors that Tao Qian had a good relationship with Tornado and Blowing Snow Sisters. As for Metal Knight, this person would not act until he saw the benefits, and he always acted on his own, and the Hero Association could not drive him. So what to do? If you can't beat him, just invite him to join. For a time, many eyes were focused on Miss Emma, number 9527. Personnel Assessment Officer Cortez cleared his throat and announced to her, Ms. Emma, after discussion, the directors unanimously approved the appointment of you as the director of the meeting room for contacting Dr. Tao. I hope you will take the interests of the association as your first choice and invite Dr. Tao to become an official hero. The Hero Association is willing to cooperate with him in all aspects to develop monster resources together. Chapter 8. Tao Qian didn't care what the people in the Hero Association thought. He patrolled several cities in succession, eliminated monsters, and was currently counting his gains. Super tough nerves, purple. After being injured, the nerves at the wound will not break, but will remain connected. The neural memory will help the new muscle tissue to be stronger. Effect of the entry. Nerve toughness increases by 50%, nerve regeneration speed increases by 50%, and memory integrity increases by 100%. Electric Shock Boy, blue. I won't be electrocuted. Absolutely not. Effect of the entry. Lightning attribute damage increases by 20%, and lightning attribute damage immunity is 20%. Big Eater, blue. Able to eat a large amount of food at the same time and store it. Effect of the entry. The stored food can be used as a reserve energy, replaces its own energy consumption. Bristle, blue. Hair is the symbol of masculinity. Item effect. Generates dense hair on the body surface, and physical damage immunity increases by 20%. Donkey, blue. The donkey in Pandonkey Dang Xiaoxian. You know. Item effect. Due to regulations, it cannot be displayed here for the time being. Advanced beetle transformation, pollution. Transformed into a crustacean insect, with higher defense and environmental adaptability, Tao Qian. Tisk, the harvest, is average. In fact, the item explosion rate is not actually high. Monsters below the demon level will hardly explode purple or even higher items. Tiger level and wolf level monsters can basically only provide blue, green, and even white items. Well, it's better to use them as raw materials. In normal times, most of the monsters handled by the heroes of the Hero Association are tiger and wolf levels. After all, demon-level monsters require at least 4 A-level heroes or 1 S-level hero to deal with. Most B-class and C-class heroes are usually only responsible for maintaining public order, hunting wanted criminals, and helping to find cats and dogs. A-class heroes have fixed patrol tasks, and they don't encounter monster disasters every day. Like Tao Qian, he encountered a dragon-level and 3 ghost-level monsters in a row on this day. The probability of this was negligible before, and Tao Qian also smelled a hint of danger from this unusual probability. In addition to the Vaccine Man, the Crocodile King, and the Wild Boar King, as well as other monsters, are likely to have suddenly mutated after entering the sewer. Advertisement. Tao Qian narrowed his eyes. It looks like the work of the Monster Association. According to his experimental results, the success rate of refining potions from the raw materials collected a month ago is very touching. But in the past month, the reactions produced by many raw materials during refining have converged, which has also made a significant breakthrough in his experimental progress. To put it bluntly, the reason for the birth of these raw material monsters is the same. The monster cells of the Snake King. Tao Qian began to get excited. A monster that can create monsters. In Sykes' hands, it would be nothing more than a tool for her to destroy humanity. But if I hold it in my own hands, damn, do I still need to wander around and fight monsters? If I want any entry, can't I just let the Monster King produce cells and make it myself? Hiss, this is really a crazy idea. Tao Qian himself wondered if he was too crazy. You know, the Monster King is not a cat or dog raised at home. It is at least a monster at the top of the dragon level, and it may even be favored by the so-called god and produce unknown mutations. We need to think long-term. At least we need to have enough strength. Add Bristly, blue, to the entry library and plunder other entries. As Super Tough Nerve, purple, Electric Shock Boy, blue, Big Eater, blue, and Donkey, blue, were plundered by Tao Qian. He felt that his body had undergone certain changes. The nerve strength has increased a lot, and the energy bomb happens to be electromagnetic damage. Tao Qian casually fired an energy bomb at a ruin. Boom! The half-remaining broken wall was directly evaporated by a light ball. The demolition efficiency has also improved a lot. Then he cast his eyes on advanced beetleization, pollution. 2 attributes, beetleization, environmental adaptation. According to his experience, this entry is likely to bring him surprises. Advertisement. Analyze, advanced beetle transformation, pollution. The system prompt sounded. Do you want to consume 3,000 kill points to analyze the entry? Advanced beetle transformation, pollution? Yes. Then, in Tao Qian's sight, a translucent progress bar appeared, and the progress was completed in a flash. Analysis successful. You have obtained a new entry. Advanced environmental adaptation, purple. It has super strong environmental adaptability and can survive in various extreme environments. Entry effect. Increase resistance to toxic, acidic, and alkaline substances by 100%, and can generate corresponding resistance in a short time, and be immune to damage from toxic substances. Hidden effect. Environmental concealment rate increases by 50%. Beetle transformation, purple. Transform into a giant beetle, greatly improve the strength of bones, and generate shell armor on the body surface, with extremely strong defense resistance. Entry effect. Transformation time 900 seconds. Pressure-bearing capacity during transformation increases by 1,000%. Physical defense increases by 150%. And strength increases by 300%. 2 purple entries. A small top-grade item, a transformation type. Integrate the advanced environmental adaptation, purple, and add beetle transformation, purple, to the entry library. As the entry effect merged into the body, Tao Qian's perception of the surrounding environment also improved. The broken wall there just forms a triangular stable structure, which can be used to hide. Dig a hole below. The temperature should be suitable, and the concealment is also very strong. What is going on? Tao Qian shook his head and cleared his messy thoughts from his mind. This time the harvest was good, which made Tao Qian have higher expectations for the future. Go home first. After reaching a cooperation with the Fubuki group, you can just lie at home and receive the goods in the future. For Tao Qian, before getting the limiter on Saitama, strength can only be used to protect his own safety. Scientific research is the foundation of his existence in this world. This must not be relaxed. Chapter 9. What? Many new monsters were killed? Z-City No Man's Land. 1,500 meters underground in the house of a bald devil. In a dim room, Sykes looked at the information sent from the Monster Association and fell into deep thought. Has the speed of monster generation been noticed? Oh, I want to accumulate more strength. Sykes has long blue-purple wavy hair. delicate face and graceful figure. She leaned on the sofa and shook the red wine glass in her hand carelessly. When she wanted to make up her mind, give up the plan to continue accumulating strength and launch an attack on the Hero Association in advance. The puppet with a big embarrassed eye above 100 meters above his head received another piece of information. Is this inside information from the Hero Association? Dr. Tao Qian, a genius scientist and pharmacist who suddenly appeared a few months ago. He once assisted the Hero Association in developing a series of medicines, such as healing spray and painkillers. Most of the new monsters recruited by the association this time were killed by him. Sykes's face was neither sad nor happy, but the more she looked down, the more interested she became. He collected the cell tissues of monsters and used the cell tissues of monsters to develop strengthening medicines. Seeing this, Sykes's face began to become serious. There was an inexplicable surprise in his eyes. Using monsters as raw materials, develop medicines that can improve human physical fitness and thinking activity? What a genius idea. This kind of talent must be used by me. When Sykes was a student, she was a good friend of Fubuki and the vice president of the Superpower Research Association. Fubuki was the president. She is also a natural superpower user. However, when she used superpower prophecy once, she saw a future that made her reshape her worldview. For this reason, her thinking became more radical, and she even clamored to destroy humans and reshape the world with superpowers. Therefore, she also parted ways with friends such as Fubuki. And a few years ago, she used the near-death evolution theory to successfully create the Monster King, Orochi. Advertisement, and she occupied the sewers in the uninhabited area of Z City, which was gradually abandoned by humans in the increasingly severe monster disaster. Use it as the base of the Monster Association and continuously create monsters. She has only one purpose in her life. Use monsters to destroy humans. Establish a new ecosystem for monsters on the Earth. What a grand goal. However, in the process of achieving the goal, she still feels a little lonely. It is too difficult to create and command monsters with a human body. She had to hide deep underground and usually show people the puppet, big embarrassing eyes. Although he is still a little immature compared to me, as the creator of King Orochi, Sykes is arrogant and conceited. Tao Qian's use of monster cells to make medicine only made her feel like a fellow traveler. His intelligence should not be wasted on meaningless things like strengthening humans. Monsters, evolution, is the only future of the Earth. In a trance, Sykes saw the horrific scene she saw in the prophecy 10 years ago. She held her head, trembling all over, and recovered after a long while. Human. She gritted her teeth, as if with infinite hatred. Monster Association. De Zhengyan, who was trapped in the sofa, summoned his subordinates with telepathy. Meow meow. Here, De Zhengyan, the chief of staff. A thin cat-shaped monster who walked silently appeared in front of her. Meow Meow raised his head, but did not look at De Zhengyan's one eye, but looked around at De Zhengyan's pink and purple body with a scattered look, as if considering where to start the claws. Don't have any bad thoughts. You don't have any chance to make a move in front of me, De Zhengyan warned. Meow, De Zhengyan, the chief of staff, you misunderstood me. I am very well behaved. He, Meow Meow raised his paw to cover the corner of his mouth and laughed. You'd better not have any bad ideas. You should know that since the Monster King can create you, he can also eat you. Meow Meow was immediately shocked. No. Big, staff officer, if you have any tasks, just tell me. Big blinked his eyes with satisfaction. She snapped her fingers, and a photo rose out of thin air and was sent to Meow Meow. Advertisement, I have a secret mission. You need to go to City Z and bring this person back to the association alive. I will let the Insect God and the Cutting King cooperate with you. This mission can only succeed, not fail. Big paused, still felt that it was not safe. So he continued to hand Meow Meow a meatball that seemed to be alive. Take the monster cells with you. If he resists violently, force him to eat. As long as he becomes a monster, he can't want to come. Cuckoo, Big staff officer is really wise. Meow Meow promises to complete the task. Meow Meow took the monster cells with his claws, and a grim smile appeared at the corners of his mouth. Sykes attaches great importance to Tao Qian. For this reason, he even sent the future to recruit Geru's monster team. Meow Meow, disaster-level dragon, with extremely sharp claws, the body can be deformed at will, and can pass through a gap of only 3 millimeters. He has a poor fighting will, and likes to run away halfway through the fight. He is extremely cruel and likes to bully the weak. Insect God, Disaster Level Ghost, a humanoid insect monster with a strong body and shell, and a second-stage transformation. Cutting King, Disaster Level Ghost, a humanoid monster with strong physical fitness, flexible skills, and the ability to reconnect the body as long as the bandage is not broken. Use 2 long swords to cut the opponent's flesh and blood with extremely fast attack speed. 1 Dragon Level, 2 are infinitely close to Dragon Level. They are all top masters of the fighting school. Sykes is confident that as long as they don't encounter unreasonable and powerful superpower heroes like Tornado, these 3 monsters are enough to deal with most enemies in the world. There is no possibility of accidents. At the same time, Z City, Laboratory. Tao Qian, wearing blue goggles, watched the experiment humming on the experimental table. The experimental machine flashed with a bright blue light and operated the mechanical arm to inject the remaining tissues of the Crocodile King and the Wild Boar King into the mice. Tongue. 2 violent energies were stimulated from the mice. In just a blink of an eye, the body of the mice was torn apart by the wanton growth of muscle tissue. Although these experimental subjects still could not escape the fate of failure, but Tao Qian had already got what he wanted. 3 minutes and 35 seconds. The shape of the monsterization is more stable. The more powerful the monster, the more energy the remaining cell tissue contains, and the higher the probability of ordinary animals becoming monsters. I really want to get a cell of the Monster King and study it. Chapter 10. City Z Under the Night. There is a small area that is always in darkness. This is an uninhabited area. It is the home of the Bald Demon King. It is also the lair of the Monster Association. At the same time, it is also a dangerous place in the monster legend. There is no other reason, because the Bald Demon King will slap the monsters passing by every time he enters and exits this area. But because there are also monsters like vampires in the Monster Association that feed on monsters. Therefore, almost all monsters think that someone is causing trouble inside. They don't even know the existence of Saitama, because those who have seen him are dead. But over time, the monsters have also mastered certain rules. That is, there is almost no danger in going in and out here at night. Who told Saitama not to go out at night? At this moment, Meow Meow took the insect god and the cutting king and tiptoed to lift the cover of the sewer. Jumped out from underground. Where is that Tao? Tao's laboratory. Huh. Meow Meow kept scanning the insect god and the cutting king with a look of infinite malice. Then the two subconsciously moved closer together. Meow. Meow Lord, we are on your side. The insect god forced a smile and said flatteringly. Humph, does that matter? Meow Meow said lightly. It stretched out its tongue and licked its claws gracefully. When it looked at the 2 ghost-level monsters, its eyes were full of teasing. Insect god, I heard that your armor is indestructible. I have long wanted to use it to sharpen my claws. And you, Cutting King, I have always been curious about what is wrapped under your bandages. Meow Meow shook his claws, and his voice became ethereal. It always reminds me of the rolls of paper in the human bathroom before. To be honest, I miss those days. The insect god was so scared that his face twitched and his voice trembled. Meow. Lord Meow, should we focus on the mission first? But what responded to it was a sharp cold light. Sizzle, after a few harsh sounds. A deep wound was left on the armor that the insect god was proud of. A few broken bandages also fell from the body of the cutting king beside him, revealing a dark patch inside. I don't know what it is. Lord Meow, spare my life. The insect god was scared out of his wits. You know, his armor is as hard as steel, and even the sharp blade of the cutting king can't leave a mark. At this time, it was split by a claw and almost cut into the flesh. Tisk boring, you are right. It is better to focus on the mission. The moody Meow Meow seemed to have suddenly lost interest in the two of them, and turned around and walked towards the Tao Qian laboratory surrounded by the downtown area. In the world of monsters, strength is respected, and no one cares if you die without strength. Even though they suffered such harm and humiliation, the Mushikiri team dared not act rashly and had to follow obediently. Advertisement Meow Meow. I like to bully the weak the most. As a cadre member of the Monster Association, Meow Meow's hobbies are extremely unique. It retains the personality of a cat. It is extremely cruel and likes to torture and kill opponents by playing with them. The more miserable the opponent screams, the more excited it is. Because of its personality, Sykes has always confined it underground. This time, Sykes felt that Tao Qian might be difficult to deal with, and it was easy to attract the attention of the Hero Association if they attacked the laboratory. So he hoped to use Meow Meow's skills in stealth and sneak attacks and take people away by surprise. But what she didn't know, or what she knew but didn't care about, was, Meow Meow has its own ideas. I hope you can let me play for a while longer. Meow Meow looked at the laboratory in front of it, which looked like a steel fortress, and chuckled. Then, it walked around the building and easily found an entrance for exhaust gas. It turned into a thin sheet, rolled into a ball, and sneaked in along the pipe. Only the insect god and the cutting king were left outside, looking at each other. Master Big Eyes' mission is to let us meet Master Meow Meow outside, right? The two ghost-level monsters looked at each other and decided to paddle. Anyway, Meow Meow is a dragon level, and the possibility of failure is theoretically close to 0. Are there any experimental materials that are delivered to the door? Tao Qian in the laboratory looked at the surveillance with interest. In fact, the three monsters were captured by the hidden surveillance when they were 1 mile away from the laboratory. Dr. Tao attaches great importance to his own safety. At this moment, he looked at a cat and followed the pipe he deliberately left, and soon he came to the reserved room. Just the next second when Meow Meow jumped out of the pipe. Click! With a muffled sound, the pipe mouth behind it closed directly, leaving almost no gap. Hey, where did this little cutie come from? Is it a homeless stray cat? The dark hall suddenly became as bright as day. Under the illumination of countless lights, Meow Meow's shadow on the ground was only a vague outline. This is not good news. In the entire room, even the integrated cast steel cage, the entrance it just entered, was blocked by the carved door, and the gap was almost invisible to the naked eye. Advertisement this time. Meow Meow's proud stealth skills were directly abolished. But it was not panicked at all, just like Tao Qian who was sitting opposite it. Humph. Pointless struggle. Meow Meow swayed her cat steps and slowly approached Tao Qian. I'm a cadre of the Monster Association, and I'm here to invite you to join us. How about it? Let's go. Don't make me waste my energy. Meow Meow raised his head and licked his claws slowly. Come on. I just poured cat food. Let me see if you're sterilized. Tao Qian patted the chair under him, raised the corner of his mouth, and showed a mocking smile. You're looking for death. I don't know which sentence made Meow Meow break his defense, and the claws on his hands grew directly, and his figure flashed and disappeared on the spot. Swish. The next moment, it flashed directly behind Tao Qian, and its sharp claws quickly slashed out. In its eyes, it seemed to have seen the scene of Tao Qian's body and head being separated. But Tao Qian was faster than it. Interesting. In nature, cats are actually known for their sensitivity, not speed. Therefore, Tao Qian, who possessed the 2 entries of Earth Apostle and Leopard Speed, had already firmly suppressed Meow Meow in terms of absolute speed. In Meow Meow's eyes, this human whose profession was scientist appeared beside him in just a blink of an eye. Snap. A snap of fingers. Danger. Meow Meow's heart was alarmed. It retracted its claws without hesitation, turned around, and quickly rushed to the other end of the room. But how could Tao Qian's attack be so easy to avoid? Go. Following the command of his fingers, several light balls with lightning flashing on the surface followed Meow Meow tightly like a thorn in the flesh. Damn it! How can humans have such ability? Hunter and hunted. The identities were instantly exchanged. Chapter 11. Meow. Meow Meow roared, and its 2 claws instantly lengthened and blocked in front of it. The claws swung rapidly and even formed a shadow screen in front of it. This is Meow Meow's favorite move. Its power is so great that it can cut through concrete buildings and ground like cutting tofu. But at this moment, it only gave Meow Meow a certain amount of breathing time. Crack, crack. With a few crisp sounds, Meow Meow shattered the energy bomb. But several of its long claws also broke. So strong. I can't fight. Just like the trembling tornado is not as good as a sea-level physical hero without superpowers. Meow Meow is a dragon-level monster that ranks among the top in agility and lethality. Its weaknesses are also prominent. Its defense is relatively weak, and its endurance is even worse. This is also the fundamental factor of its poor fighting will. At this moment, Meow Meow just wants to escape. Escape back to the sewer. Who the hell wants to complete the mission? As long as it is alive, it is still a cadre of the Monster Association. There are only so many dragon-level monsters in the Monster Association. Meow Meow doesn't believe that Big Eyes is willing to let King Snake eat him. Run. Run. But where can it run to? Looking around, the entire hall of hundreds of square meters is cast in steel and integrated. Meow Meow scratched the wall with his claws. Although it can be cut, it takes a lot of effort. But how thick is this wall? Tao Qian tells you, at least 5 meters. For his own safety, he is not joking. Haha, come again. Tao Qian snapped his fingers. He released several more light balls. He even sat back in his chair comfortably. The scene reappeared. Electric Shock Boy, although it is just a blue entry. But Tao Qian likes this simple and crude attribute of adding damage and immunity. Directly let his electromagnetic energy bomb damage to a higher level. By the way, that entry can be upgraded. Enough of small talk. Meow Meow usually likes to play cat and mouse games, especially the state of mouse that can't live or die, which makes it unforgettable every time. But today, at this moment, this is the first time that it has been teased as a mouse by others. Not only is it aggrieved, but it is also aggrieved. What's more terrible is that Meow Meow feels that the energy used to regenerate claws is about to run out. If it goes on like this, it will definitely die. If you dare, fight me head-on. In order to survive, Meow Meow even used the method of provoking. Humans should be very face-saving, just like my previous master, who ate bean sprouts every day and said he was very good to his family. It thought so. Okay, play with you. Tao Qian stood up and moved his limbs. I haven't moved for a long time, and I'm rusty. Meow Meow was ecstatic. Meow Meow A went up. Exciting, cat punishment. Meow Meow used the last of his strength. He burst out with the most powerful move in his life. Advertisement Sheena. 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 The extremely sharp claws suddenly stretched a few more inches. With Meow Meow as the center, the area within a 10-foot radius was filled with dense claw shadows. The huge force broke through the air, and even drew a series of strong winds towards Tao Qian. At this moment, Meow Meow had already forgotten the capture alive order from Big Embarrassing Eyes. If he didn't kill the other party, he would be the one to die today. It took only a moment for Meow Meow to enter the violent mode. The claw shadows all over the sky even blocked his own vision. Meow Meow was confident that no one could escape this move. What's more, what about a so-called human who was at most similar to Wandering Emperor? In just a blink of an eye, the chair that Tao Qian was originally sitting on was torn to pieces by Meow Meow. The violent slashing lasted for more than 5 minutes. Huff huff, it's over. The mission failed. If Big pursues it, I will just run away. Anyway, I am not a weirdo created by Wang Dash. Meow Meow leaned on his waist and looked around the room. No, why is there not a drop of blood on the ground? When he thought of this, Meow Meow suddenly felt a warning in his heart. It was too late. I saw a big hand reaching out from behind Meow Meow and grabbed its neck. Little cat, you are having fun? Meow Meow's hair stood on end, but with his neck grabbed, his whole body was stiff for a while and he couldn't make any movements at all. Even if he had become a weirdo, he was still a cat after all. However, it was a weirdo after all, and it quickly adjusted itself. Don't underestimate me. It turned from a cat to a sheet of cat in an instant. Its body became as thin as a piece of paper, and it broke away from Tao Qian's control. Then Meow Meow turned in midair. Zinni. In a split second, Meow Meow used up all his strength and launched another slash. It was useless. Tao Qian's figure seemed to be weightless, and was swayed by the airflow broken by Meow Meow's claws. Even though Meow Meow's attack was in a critical moment, Tao Qian still easily dodged it. Then, a big hand grabbed Meow Meow's neck again. Tao Qian's playful voice came into Meow Meow's ears. Have you had enough fun? Is it my turn? Meow Meow was so scared that his soul left his body. You are definitely not a human. Hee hee. Tao Qian did not answer again, but twisted it hard. Crack. With a sound, Meow Meow's neck was twisted into a knot, and her whole body instantly became soft and heavy, and she lay limply on Tao Qian's arm. She looked deader than dead. Advertisement, but Tao Qian's eyes were a little subtle. The system hadn't prompted that the entry had been detected yet. Life-replacing technique? Or fake death technique? Want to fake death and escape? You wouldn't have thought. I have a cheat. Tao Qian didn't waste any words, threw Meow Meow into the air, snapped his fingers, and condensed several energy bombs on his side. They hit Meow Meow's body hard. You. Meow Meow only had time to make 2 calls before his entire head was hit by the energy ball and evaporated. Ding. Found lootable entries. 9 lives, purple. It is said that cats have 9 lives, but in fact, cats just don't die that easily. Entry effect. After being severely injured or actively entering a state of suspended animation, the body's toughness increases by 200% and the recovery ability increases by 50%. but if it suffers a fatal attack, it will still die. Gap Wandering, purple, Meow Meow's special skill, which can freely pass through or hide in cracks that many people can't notice. Entry effect. It can turn itself into a thin sheet and freely pass through a gap of about 3 millimeters. Hiding technique, purple. When a cat hides sincerely, you may find it difficult to find its trace even if it is close at hand. Entry effect. Reduce its own presence by 50%, increase its own concealment by 50%, and can easily hide in shadows and cracks. Cat's Grace, blue. Cat's walk is known as a symbol of elegance. At the same time, when a cat is dropped from mid-air, it always lands on its feet first. Item effect. Temperament is improved by 100%. Increase flexibility by 200%, and be able to make more unexpected postures. When walking in complex terrain, the jump height is increased by an additional 100%. Brutal Mind, gray. Cats are cruel hunters. Even if they are not hungry, they will instinctively hunt and play with their prey until they die. Item effect. When the prey is identified, the concentration and damage are increased by 50%. However, if the prey is not killed, it will fall into an extremely depressed state for 48 hours, and the physical attributes and mental state will be reduced by 50%. Tao Qian's eyes flickered. Although this dragon-level monster did not explode with orange items, its 3 purple items have their own characteristics. Except for Brutal Mind, Plunder All. Cut King. How long has it been? Outside the laboratory door, the insect god and the Cut King have been waiting impatiently. Especially the Cutting King, with bandages flying all over his body. It was written on his face that, "I'm losing my patience." Meow Meow had been in for more than a quarter of an hour, and there was no movement inside. "Should we fight our way in?" the insect god said, and punched the laboratory wall. "Damn, my hand hurts." Forget it. Let's wait a little longer." The 2 weirdos waited there for nearly a quarter of an hour. When the insect god wanted to dig a hole in the ground to get in, the door of the laboratory finally moved. With a rumble, a tall and slender figure walked out of the laboratory slowly with an elegant step. But the 2 weirdos always felt that something was wrong. He is not Meow Meow. Meow Meow walks without making any sound. Accompanied by the somewhat panicked voice of the insect god, Tao Qian also appeared in front of the 2 weirdos. "I say, there are still empty seats on my test bench. Why are you 2 in such a hurry to leave?" Chapter 12. You killed the middle-level dragon monster Meow Meow and the upper-level ghost monster Slicer King, and you got a total of 9,000 kill points. Tao Qian was very satisfied. 1 dragon and 2 ghosts. The experimental materials were delivered to the door. Even the kitten specially brought the monster cells that he had been thinking about. What a thoughtful little cotton-padded jacket. He then looked at the insect god who was stripped of his armor and was dying but still alive. "Jarvis, conduct the 71st regeneration experiment," accompanied by the horrified eyes of the insect god in the large experimental dish. A bucket of strong acid was poured in. The poor monster immediately struggled and wailed. On an ugly insect face, many places had rotted into a pool of rotten flesh, blood and flesh turned into mud, and it was still bubbling and smoking. But Tao Qian only observed carefully and recorded the experimental data. The number 83 mixed formula strong acid increases the inhibition of the flesh and blood regeneration of the insect god by 15% and the damage by 13%. If it can be mass-produced and equipped, I believe that most insect monsters below the demon level will find it difficult to cause too much damage to heroes in the future. Provide such weapons to the Hero Association or other organizations. Tao Qian was distressed. Well, but this strong acid is also a huge threat to humans. It is better not to leak it out for the time being. For scientists, the value of living monsters far exceeds that of dead ones. Therefore, Tao Qian, who was not interested in the insect entry, deliberately spared the life of the insect god to experiment with new weapons. As for the abstract creature like the Cutting King, Tao Qian accidentally killed it because it resisted too violently. Only the entries such as Madness and Reason, purple, Blade Cutting, blue, Bandage Regeneration, blue, and Maintaining Human Form, white, were left. Tao Qian collected them in the entry library and put them aside for the time being. Sanity and Madness, purple. Who says madmen can't think? Item effect. Sanity is reduced by 90%. Thinking activity is increased by 100%, and damage is increased by 100% when fighting. Blade Cutting, blue. Hold 2 knives and attack like a storm. Item effect. Increase the damage of knife weapons by 50% and increase the attack speed by 100%. Bandage regeneration, blue. The bandages wrapped around the body can be used as armor and part of the body. Do you want to see what is hidden under the bandages? Item effect. When the body is wrapped with bandages, it can provide an extra layer of armor. The bandages have a regeneration effect and increase the blood and flesh regeneration effect by 50%. Maintain human form, white. Humans are a besieged city. Some people don't want to be human, and some creatures try their best to be human. Item effect. You can maintain human form when you become a monster. During the experiment, a system prompt suddenly popped up. Ding. The ghost-level upper monster insect god is convinced by you and is willing to be loyal to you. You can accept him as your follower. Do you agree? Advertisement note. After accepting the other party as a follower, you can unconditionally copy the other party's entries, and you can also unconditionally give your own entries to the other party. Tao Qian blinked his eyes and saw the insect god in the large experimental dish, who was recovering his body in the nutrient solution, looking at him with a pleading and submissive look. No. Tao Qian refused without thinking. He had not studied the function of followers, but it was obvious that insects were not worthy. It seems that you have recovered well. Snap. He snapped his fingers. Jarvis, prepare for the next experiment. Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. The insect god immediately struggled violently. It was useless. But when Tao Qian was immersed in the experiment, there was a B*********** G sound at the door. Boom. The 5-meter-thick special steel door was directly opened by a huge force. Tao Qian, come out. This voice was childish and crisp, and it would be pleasant to hear if it was spoken properly. It's a pity. He has a big mouth. I'm coming. Tao Qian went out to greet them without changing his clothes. When he arrived at the door, two figures, one big and one small, one tall and one short, one plump and one flat, appeared in front of him. Tornado, what's wrong with you? The people who came were Tornado and Blizzard. The trembling Tornado, ranked second in the Hero Association. She was also the elder sister of the queen next to her. Her green curly hair floated upwards, and even her whole body was floating in the air under the strong spiritual pressure. At this moment, she looked at Tao Qian with an angry face. Tao Qian, did I warn you not to hit my sister? Along with this fierce shout, Tao Qian immediately felt a strong suction coming, trying to drag him around. Fortunately, he had previously obtained the Earth Apostle entry, which would be fully strengthened within the scope of the earth. Except for the rustling of his white coat, Tao Qian stood on the ground, motionless. A trace of doubt flashed in Tornado's eyes. The man in front of him could actually withstand half of his strength? You know, she twisted an ordinary ghost-level monster into a twist, and at most used 10% of her strength. Subconsciously, she wanted to increase the output of her superpowers. Sister. At the critical moment, the blizzard of hell stopped her. I've told you that Dr. Tao didn't threaten me to help him do the experiment. We, the Fubuki team, are here to deliver goods to him. Advertisement. Tao Qian followed her words and looked outside the door. Sure enough, a half-old pickup truck was parked outside the door. Several members of the Fubuki team carefully huddled aside, fearing that they would be seen by Tornado. Shut up. Tornado immediately interrupted his sister's speech. What are they planning? Don't I know? Have you forgotten when you were young? In short, I won't allow you to contact him alone. My stupid sister, I can't watch you all day long. Fubuki's face darkened, and she made a helpless gesture towards Tao Qian. Tao Qian also had a headache. He just wanted to do a simple business and get close to the two sisters, so how did he attract the big boss? But his mind turned quickly, and he took out a potion after patting his pocket. Miss Tornado, I'm sorry for not welcoming you. Did you get the news of my latest invention? He raised the potion in his hand. You've come at the right time. This potion is very effective and can promote human redevelopment. It can not only increase height and beautify, but you can also use it to grow bigger if you want. As soon as these words came out, Fubuki's face changed drastically, and she stretched out her hand to grab at her side. Tornado, who was originally beside her, had long disappeared. She floated on the top of the laboratory. Her green curly hair stood upright, and her eyes were filled with murderous intent. Tao Qian, you are looking for death. Everyone has a reverse scale, and Tornado's reverse scale is her sister and her own height. In a flash, Tornado directly activated telekinesis and wanted to grab Tao Qian from the ground, rolled him into a round shape, flattened him, and then slapped him to pieces. But what she didn't expect was, even though the entire laboratory began to crumble, Tao Qian still took root under his feet and did not move. He even had the energy to blink at her and pout at her. A complete provocation. When did he become so strong? At the critical moment, a sound came from outside the door. Ms. Tornado, I am a senior cadre of the association. I will contact Emma, the director of the conference room, with Dr. Tao. Dr. Tao is an important partner of the Hero Association. Please stop the attack. Ms. 9527, who got the news, hurried over. She changed into a more expensive suit at this time, full of confidence. Tornado was a little nervous, and when she heard this, she took advantage of the situation. She landed on the ground, looked at Fubuki and said sternly, I don't care what business you are doing now. Immediately. Stop. Let's go. After that, regardless of whether Fubuki agreed or not, she stretched out her hand and grabbed Fubuki out of the laboratory with her superpowers and left. Fubuki had no power to resist, so she had to signal Tao Qian with her mouth. The transaction continues. Chapter 13. Doctor, the association is very interested in your research. Confident women are the most beautiful. Emma was at her peak and most confident at this moment. Just yesterday, she was just a small liaison. One night later, she hugged Tao Qian's 3 legs and jumped directly to the end of the senior cadres. It was like riding a rocket. You know, after becoming a cadre, not only will you have a large salary, but also a luxury car and a super large flat-floor residence that will serve you specially. As for various hidden benefits, they are too numerous to list. The most important thing is that the project she is responsible for is Tao Qian. Tao Qian is also a scientist. The one who is close to the water gets the moon first. If Tao Qian has any inventions, what if the association doesn't like it, and there are other rich people or organizations that are interested? Right. Tao Qian only occasionally carried her on his shoulders, but now she holds Tao Qian in her heart. Therefore, as soon as she heard the news that Tornado came to find Tao Qian, she hurried over. Coincidentally, it can be regarded as helping Tao Qian resolve this crisis. Doctor, the association is willing to provide sufficient resources. I hope you can provide 100 bottles of water of hope immediately. Emma stretched out her pink tongue and licked the corner of her mouth gently. Yesterday, she brought back a sample. After being tested in the laboratory of the Hero Association, the effect was significant, and no obvious side effects were detected. It immediately caused a sensation. Both the association's senior executives and the wealthy investors wanted to get this medicine immediately. First, they wanted to use it. Second, they wanted to imitate it. Doctor, the wealthy Zenikin wants to make additional investments in your laboratory. In return, he wants to order 100 bottles first. Emma leaned close to Tao Qian's ear and whispered. Her warm breath gently stroked the fluff on Tao Qian's ear, which was itchy. Oh, you just became a cadre, and you started to dig into the association? Tao Qian looked at the radiant Emma and felt a little funny. However, it was a sale anyway, and it didn't matter who it was sold to. After all, this medicine was only the most basic result. After killing Meow Meow and Cut King and capturing the insect god alive yesterday, Tao Qian has gained more through experiments. Now the most pressing problem is not enough manpower. It is not easy for him to conduct research on several projects at the same time. Advertisement, he needs an assistant. And now, most of the scientists in the world are in the hands of various consortiums and organizations. There are very few wild ones, and they can be counted on one hand. Genos from the House of Evolution? Or the Fako who developed the King of Biceps? Tao Qian originally wanted to choose. But, Doctor, I have some new ideas about yesterday's topic. Why don't we discuss it? Tao Qian was a little stunned. It's not appropriate this early in the morning. But at this time, Emma's slender waist has leaned against him. The elastic buttocks are constantly rubbing against him. Power is the best catalyst. After tasting the taste of power, Emma has completely fallen. Her eyes were full of passion, reflecting endless ambition and desire. Forget it. Who made me a good person? Snap. Tao Qian snapped his fingers, and the spare door fell down with a clang. I have a new idea. Emma, have you heard of the theory of near-death evolution? It can tap your potential with great efficiency. Let's try suffocation first. Sage time. By the way, Emma, I want the Hero Association to help me find someone. Tao Qian thought for a long time and decided to find Fokker first. In the world of One Punch Man, there are actually quite a few crazy scientists or high-level research talents. For example, Dr. Beaufoy, the Metal Knight. He has an extremely powerful metal army and can create super large robots. After the destruction of City A by Boros in the future, it took only 7 days to rebuild the new headquarters of the Hero Association on the ruins of City A. Tao Qian can't see through him. For example, Child Emperor. As the former assistant of Metal Knight, Child Emperor is undoubtedly a genius among geniuses. Unfortunately, this child's mind is full of humanity and justice, and it is estimated that it is difficult for him to accept Tao Qian's weird experiment project. Another example is Drive Knight. Advertisement: this person is more mysterious, and Tao Qian suspects that he is related to an unknown organization. Untrustworthy. There are also people like Dr. Kunos, the financier behind the funding warrior Genos. Well, as a victim, he is very suitable. The above people are all high-level talents on the mechanical side. What about the biological side? Sykes is naturally the leader. After all, she created the Monster King Orochi and created the so-called Monster Association. Although her purpose is a bit far-fetched, there is no doubt that her research on monsters is more in-depth than Tao Qian. It's just that the two sides have different research focuses. Sykes wants to create monsters to eliminate humans, while Tao Qian studies the use of monster resources. I have to say, they are quite complementary. Unfortunately, you have to break into the Monster Association to find her. Excluded. Dr. Genos of the House of Evolution. This doctor focuses on using technological means to make humans monsters. He calls it evolution. 10 years ago, Zombie Man, who was the number 66 experimental subject, escaped from the House of Evolution. This current S-class hero has an extremely exaggerated regeneration ability and can be called immortal. Well, he is only immortal, and he is useless in other aspects. It is worth mentioning that the theory about the bald devil breaking the limiter was also proposed by Dr. Genos. Tao Qian originally wanted him as his assistant. Unfortunately, Dr. Genos is a senior in the research community. It will not be too late to invite him after the House of Evolution is destroyed. Then in the end, the only known researcher is Fako. This inventor of the King of Biceps turned his brother into a giant hundreds of meters tall. After destroying City D, he was killed instantly by Saitama, and his fallen remains fell to the ground and destroyed City B. TSK. Awesome. Therefore, Fako can barely be regarded as Tao Qian's colleague, mainly because he is crazy enough. His name is Fako, and he has a younger brother who should live in City D. Find him and tell me. Tao Qian instructed Emma, who was dressed. Chapter 14. 2 flowers bloom, each with its own beauty. While Tao Qian and Emma were studying new topics, Sykes, deep underground in City Z, was a little confused. Meow Meow did not return all night. It is normal for cats to like to run around, but the two subordinates of the insect god and the cutting king did not return either. Sykes had to send out surveillance eyes during the day to find out. As luck would have it, he saw Tornado and others waiting at the door of the laboratory. I didn't expect that this doctor was still connected to Tornado and blowing snow. Sykes took back the surveillance eyes and bit his silver teeth. We can only make long-term plans. Tornado was there. Needless to say, Meow Meow and others must have died tragically. Sykes was open-minded. Anyway, they are not my direct descendants. Her beautiful eyes looked at the roof, and at the same time, the big embarrassed eyes on her head also looked at Wang Dash in the shadow. As long as there is Wang Dash, as many monsters as you want can be created. I just hope that Meow Meow dies faster and doesn't alert the enemy. Sykes collapsed back into the sofa and raised the red wine. Tornado, Blizzard, sooner or later, I will. Plans cannot keep up with changes. When the Hero Association started to search for Fokker in a procrastinating manner, on the outskirts of D-City, in a dilapidated building. Yo, finally done. The ultimate steroid preparation, Biceps King. With a chicken coop hair and dark circles under his eyes, Fokker excitedly rushed out of the simple laboratory. Holding a colorful potion, he shouted to his brother Maljerry, "My dear brother, drink it and you will get the power you dream of." As Maljerry raised his head and drank the potion, the surging energy stimulated his body to grow continuously. In the end, he grew into a giant with a height of hundreds of meters. The setting is 270 meters, and the animation is at least tens of thousands of meters. Anyway, it is a comic, so there is no need to worry too much. Brother, your strength plus my wisdom, let us conquer the world together. The giant brothers began to wreak havoc. The Hero Association has not found anyone yet. Advertisement: Tao Qian could only make the trip by himself. Damn, I hope Saitama moves slower. But he had just flown to the scene. From a distance, he saw a bald, caped man with a reflective head standing on the giant's left shoulder. Then, Pa! The giant slapped his right shoulder. It was like killing a mosquito. Found lootable entries. Amazing wisdom, purple. Genius is 99% sweat plus 1% inspiration. Entry effect. In scientific research, the probability of inspiration increases by 100%. A genius? Madman? Purple. Abandon all bottom lines, just for the goal. Entry effect. After wearing it, you will lose your humanity in scientific research. Research expansion increases by 100%. Bottom line, Tao Qian frowned. Does he have this thing? How can I reduce it if I don't have it? Let's put this aside first. Tao Qian saw that the giant had gone mad. He knocked Saitama to the ground and swung his fists to create a big hole in the ground. Saitama was unscathed. He even jumped into the air, ready to kill with one punch. Saitama-kun, please wait. Tao Qian hurriedly shouted. It's Tao Qian. Are you here to kill monsters too? Saitama was stunned, touching his bald head and asked hesitantly, how about I leave it to you? When Saitama saw Tao Qian now, he subconsciously wanted to escape. Although Tao Qian had treated him to many big meals, but he also drew a lot of blood from him. He was a good guy when he treated him, and a bad guy when he drew blood. Saitama was a person who clearly distinguished between hate and hate. Don't! Tao Qian hurriedly stopped him. He looked at the giant who was hundreds of meters tall, and he didn't know how many people would be crushed to death after he fell. Although he didn't care about the lives of these people from other worlds, but he didn't want to take the blame for nothing. Let's leave it to King. Anyway, Fubuki is dead. Advertisement. Tao Qian's eyes turned, and he immediately thought of an idea. Saitama-kun, I'm here to treat you to a meal. Kill the monster first and we'll talk about the rest. When Saitama heard that Tao Qian wanted to treat him, his demeanor changed in an instant. Wagyu, sukiyaki. I want 10 servings. The two immediately started a heated discussion about what to eat. Obviously, they overlooked something. You. Don't treat me as if I don't exist. The giant brother was instantly furious. Two mountain-sized fists hit the two fiercely. By the way, Saitama-kun, be more serious. If the monster's remains are too big, secondary disasters will occur. Saitama slapped his forehead. It has to be you, Tao Qian. You are such a good person. Then, use this trick. Continuous normal punch. The bald devil rushed up to the giant's fist. With a flurry of punches, the giant was smashed to pieces in an instant. Compared with the original plot, at least most of the blocks in City B were spared. Found lootable entries. Supergiant transformation, orange. Size is strength, with unparalleled attack and defense. Entry effect. Transformed into a 270-meter-tall giant, muscle tissue and bone strength are greatly strengthened. Weight increased to 1 million tons. Strength increased by 5,000%. Defense increased by 5,000%. But because the body is supersized, the nerve network is more dense, the speed and efficiency of nerve signal transmission are reduced. The body flexibility is reduced by 90%, and the thinking delay is increased by 90%. Super asterisk muscle potential purple. You don't think that just anyone can become bigger by taking that kind of messy medicine, right? No way. No way. Entry effect. Possess the potential to become the strongest in the world. Muscle growth speed and efficiency increased by 100%. Muscle indicators, toughness, elasticity, extensibility, increase efficiency by 100%. Loot all. Tao Qian was quite satisfied with today's harvest. Giantization is a transformation term, which can only take effect after transformation. But wisdom and potential, these two terms, one can improve R&D efficiency, and the other is full of potential. Earn money. Tao Qian has already forgotten the idea of recruiting Fokker. After all, the person is dead. Besides, if this wild mad scientist is really recruited, it may cause greater losses. Tao Qian was still thinking, and suddenly found a dull face coming towards him. It was Saitama. Tao Jun. Let's go to eat. It is obvious that Saitama is going to let go and have a big meal today. Chapter 15. I'm starting. In the luxurious restaurant, Saitama looked at the beef slices stacked at least 30 centimeters high, and his eyes were full of stars. Since Tao Qian wanted to draw his blood for research, he avoided Tao Qian. He hasn't eaten so much meat for a long time. Tao Jun is really a good person. It would be great if he didn't always draw my blood. But now I think about it, if I can eat so much meat every day, it doesn't seem unacceptable for him to draw some blood. Saitama was feasting while his thoughts were flying. Tao Qian sat opposite him and looked at him with interest. Saitama is a very strange protagonist. It can't be evaluated with simple good and evil. If you have to evaluate it, it's unique and pure. The world of One Punch Man is a world that is terminally ill. Heroes and monsters are often just a thought away. For example, the police dog man in Q City. Tao Qian once observed the other party closely. He or it has been quietly staying in the center of Q City. If it weren't for the face that looks like Saitama in the doll costume, this hero doesn't look like a human at all. More like a pet dog with strong beliefs and strength. In addition, is Zombie Man a human? As a test subject of Dr. Genos, he is clearly a weirdo. But Zombie Man, who adheres to the human identity and beliefs, has become a hero. Another example is Sweetheart Mask. Sweetheart Mask was originally an ugly person. In order to make up for the external defects, he required himself to be beautiful and upright inside, and would do good deeds in obscurity. Under the influence of extreme justice in his heart, Sweetheart Mask changed and became a weirdo. But he has always taken the elimination of ugly monsters as his action purpose. Let's talk about humans. Let's talk about other species. Are those aliens and the space pirates weirdos? According to the standards of the Hero Association, they are. But in reality, who cares? Even Tao Qian himself doesn't think he is a pure human being now. Only this simple and pure bald man in front of him is indeed 100% human. Tao Jun, what are you looking at me for? Advertisement Saitama, who was eating with his head covered, suddenly stopped and looked at Tao Qian in confusion. Suddenly, he covered the beef with his hand. Don't pay attention to my beef. But then, he seemed to remember that this meal was invited by Tao Qian. He reluctantly let go of his arm. That, if you don't have enough, you can take some from me. Tao Qian smiled. What's wrong with this guy's brain? How could he think that he couldn't afford this meal? Eat slowly if it's not enough. You can add more, he replied. Saitama's eyes lit up instantly. Waiter, add another serving of ramen and pack it up. He looked at Tao Qian a little embarrassed. I'll take it back for dinner, okay? Tao Qian shrugged. Whatever. Look at how hungry the child is. Living in an uninhabited area, water and electricity are free. I don't have much money on me at ordinary times. Such a person. But he has the most powerful force in the world. But maybe it is because of such a person that he is qualified to keep the most powerful force in the world. Of course, I am not from this world. Tao Qian thought so. Mr. Tao. Saitama's tone and expression suddenly became serious. Saitama, now I formally challenge you. Saitama. My defeated general. Are you going to humiliate yourself again? Tao Qian put his hands in his pockets, and infinite momentum burst out instantly. His tall body directly blocked the weak Saitama in the shadow. Humph. Mr. Tao, don't underestimate me. Saitama put his hands on the table, raised his head, and his eyes were extremely sharp. I have found the reason why you defeated me last time. I put the water in that bowl of ramen 10 seconds earlier. Now, after 49 days of hard training, I will never make such a low-level mistake again. Tao Jun, accept the challenge. I must defeat you and take back the title of the King of Ramen in the uninhabited area of my Z City. Advertisement facing such a serious Saitama. Tao Qian couldn't help but get excited at this time. Okay, I'll give you another chance. Tao Qian stretched out his hand to check the time. Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, I will bring hot pot base, lamb, steak, crab sticks, live shrimps, and kelp to your house. At that time, I will let you taste the taste of despair again. Saitama Jun, you can't beat me. Gurgle. It was obvious that he swallowed his saliva. Saitama's momentum was a little low in an instant. It's lamb, steak, crab sticks, live shrimp, and kelp. What a strong opponent. But I will never give up. Tao Qian, I will definitely beat you. Burp. The second-year painting style instantly returned to normal. Saitama scratched his scalp. Sorry, I ate too much. Ha. Tao Qian laughed heartily. Saitama Qian, just wash yourself and wait for failure. But before the game, you have to answer me a question. Saitama instantly became serious again. What question? Can I refuse to answer? Of course not. Then ask it. Tao Qian touched his chin, and the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. Saitama Qian, when you wash your hair, do you use shampoo or facial cleanser? What's the question? Is it important? Of course, this is probably one of the fundamental reasons why you are so strong. Can't you answer it? Saitama scratched his head, and pieces of scalp fell off. But I don't wash my hair. The next morning, Tao Qian packed up his things. Carrying a big bag of food, he walked on the way to Saitama's house. Chapter 16. This is impossible. Saitama stared at the ramen in front of him in a daze. I lost again. How could this happen? Saitama, who lost the cooking competition again, grabbed his head hard. He caught nothing. My ramen, compared to hot pot, it's really so bad. Tao Jun, is my cooking skill really that bad? Saitama looked at Tao Qian with a pitiful look. Of course not. Tao Qian's answer made the bald man smile, but he changed the subject. It's because I'm too strong. The bald man scratched his head again. Oh, is that so? In that case, the honor of the king of hot pot in the no man's land will be awarded to you. Saitama soon became inexplicably happy again. Tao Qian shrugged. Saitama-kun, do you want shrimp paste in your ramen? Yes. Give it to me. Aha. I declare that I invented shrimp paste ramen. It will be a big hit if I sell it. I won't have to eat bean sprouts anymore. The soup is enough, and the rice is full. Both of them leaned on one side. Tao Qian asked casually, by the way, Saitama-kun, have you felt any changes in yourself recently? What? The bald man pricked up his ears and stared at Tao Qian. By the way, Tao-kun, are you up to something bad again? Let me make it clear in advance that I will never, ever let you draw blood again. Saitama took a defensive posture and stared at Tao Qian vigilantly. Don't worry, Saitama-kun. I don't need your blood anymore. Tao Qian was also helpless. After all, no matter how he tested, it showed that Saitama was immortal, and he was going to give up. It would be better to honestly defeat Saitama to copy the entry on him. Unfortunately, the talent contest can only be effective once. Otherwise, he could have spoiled Saitama just by cooking. What to do now? What else to compete for? This bald guy hasn't met King yet, so he hasn't developed the bad habit of playing video games. It's a headache. Saitama-kun, I mean, you often acted very depressed before. Are you better now? Huh. Saitama thought hard. It seems to be true. For a long time before, I not only didn't feel fear and tension, but even emotions like joy and anger seemed to disappear. I always thought that this was the price I paid for my power, exchanging the most important thing for a person, advertisement, but, Tao Jun, after you appeared, I felt that some of the lost things were coming back. Saitama's expression was extremely serious. I am full of fighting spirit now. Tao Jun, listen, I will not admit defeat, he said loudly. Next time, the next challenge, I believe that my instant noodle skills will definitely surpass your hot pot. He got off his seat with a click. Please, Tao Ju. Tao Qian. Damn. If you stay at the level of instant noodles with boiled water, how can you beat the long-standing Dragon Country cuisine? Isn't he looking for an excuse to eat for free? Tao Qian felt that he had seen through Saitama's true face. What a cunning idiot. I can't do anything about you. Just when the two were bored, the half-old TV started to push news. What is the reason for the large number of mosquitoes this year? We have invited an expert who has published several books to explain it to you. An urgent news interruption. A large number of mosquitoes are currently rushing towards Z City. The bitten livestock have turned into mummies. Please take shelter, citizens. Damn. Our Z City is really full of disasters. Saitama made a simple comment and started watering the flowers. But soon, his attention was drawn away. The buzzing of small insects sounded in the room. Buzz, a mosquito swaggered and landed on the back of Saitama's hand. Snap. Buzz, snap. Buzz, snap. Right in front of Tao Qian, Saitama quickly turned red at a speed visible to the naked eye. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Why can't I hit it? At the same time, accompanied by a shrill alarm, the radio in the distant downtown area also began a disaster alarm. Emergency evacuation alert. The disaster level is ghost. Please don't go out. Repeat. Citizens of Z City, please don't go out. The noisy downtown area soon quieted down. Large groups of mosquitoes flew by. Many citizens who didn't have time to evacuate were sucked into mummies in the blink of an eye. Snap. Buzz. Saitama was still hitting mosquitoes. Tao Qian sat quietly, watching this funny scene. So there are things that Saitama-kun, who has the world's strongest force, can't handle? Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Tao Jun. You are still talking nonsense. Come and help me kill the mosquito. Tao Qian smiled mysteriously. No hurry. If you kill it earlier, won't you miss that important person? What? Tao Jun, what are you talking about? Advertisement. Buzz. Snap. Buzz buzz buzz, damn mosquito, I must kill you. Uh, uh. Target locked. On a street not far from the no man's land, the Fund Warrior officially appeared. Burn, burn, burn. How arrogant the Fund Warrior was when he appeared. How embarrassed he was now. Ahaha. After absorbing countless mosquito swarms, the second stage of the Mosquito Girl officially appeared. Ahahaha, Baka. The reason you can destroy the mosquito swarm is, of course, because I don't need them anymore. After all, I'm already so powerful. The voice coming from the air was extremely tempting, but the words she said were extremely terrifying. With such a weak fist, even a mosquito can't be killed. You are really weak. I will chop off your head with the next blow. The Fund Warrior was instantly in a desperate situation. Are you going to die? Then, self-destruct, Dr. Kunos? I'm sorry. Pa. Saitama stood there, in a good mood. Mosquitoes hate it. The Mosquito Girl, who was so arrogant, just now instantly turned into a ball of blood mist. Saitama looked at Tao Qian, who was walking towards him, and raised his palm. Tao Jun, look, I killed that mosquito. Really? Tao Qian nodded and looked aside calmly. There was no system prompt sound. Probably, it was just a body that was blown up. Then, his expression changed. He quickly grabbed his hand to the side. When he opened his hand again, a half-dead mosquito was lying quietly in his palm. This ability is almost close to the transformation of a vampire bat. Tao Qian thought quickly. Let's go back and study it. He waved at Saitama. Saitama-kun, see you tomorrow. Chapter 17. Z City Laboratory. Tao Qian stared at a petri dish with burning eyes. In the large nutrient pool that was as tall as a person, a small mosquito was slowly growing bigger. Jarvis, increase the concentration of the nutrient solution. Tao Qian instructed the AI assistant. As the lavender, more concentrated nutrient solution was transported into the pool, the mosquito mutated and its growth rate increased accordingly. I don't know how long it took. It finally turned into a huge embryo. With the sound of a thumping heartbeat coming from inside, a sharp bone blade cut the embryo. The naked and beautiful Mosquito Girl also officially woke up. Ah, doctor, I died so miserably. What? You are not Dr. Genos. Who are you? The awakened Mosquito Girl was big where it should be big and small where it should be small. After an evolution, many places that did not look like humans at first, such as the legs that were torn off by Genos, have evolved into the appearance of human legs. But the hands are still two sharp blades. On the top of the head is a long horn transformed from a beak. There is a meaningless organ on each side of the head, a compound eye. There is a long bone horn on each shoulder, which acts as a barb. The whole body is covered with a layer of fine scales. It looks about 70% like a human. Tao Qian nodded and said, although it is a failure of the House of Evolution and has reached the technical limit of Genos, I am still willing to give you a chance. I hope you can cooperate with me in research and forget about Dr. Genos. My last name is Tao. You can call me Dr. Tao. From now on, I will be your master. The Mosquito Girl in the petri dish had a face full of question marks. What? Do you know who Dr. Genos is? Who gave you the courage to speak like that? Let me out. I will suck your blood dry. After all, there is still a fight. Tao Qian laughed. Jarvis, let her out. As the AI program was running, the lid of the upper layer of the petri dish was rumbled open. The Mosquito Girl leaped up, wielding a sharp blade with a sneer on her face, and slashed at Tao Qian. No matter who you are, if you dare to mess with me, you're dead. Haha, is that so? Advertisement facing the sharp blade. Tao Qian had no intention of dodging. Just when the sharp blade was about to hit him, his two fingers came first and gently pinched it. What? Let me go. Even if the Mosquito Girl tried her best, she couldn't pull the sharp blade out of Tao Qian's fingers. At this moment, she finally realized the huge gap in strength between the two. How can a human have such a powerful force? You are not a human, you must not be. Haha. Tao Qian smiled contemptuously. Although Dr. Genos is a genius, he has been complacent for too long. Tao Qian gently pulled, and no matter how the Mosquito Girl resisted, he pulled her over. His other hand directly grabbed the Mosquito Girl's neck. At the same time, the Mosquito Girl's other sharp blade slashed at Tao Qian with all her strength. But he only chopped his clothes to pieces, not even leaving a white mark on him. Ugh, let me go. She was a little panicked. Tao Qian ignored her and continued to talk. Dr. Genos has been researching in the House of Evolution for decades. He didn't know that his every move was under the surveillance of the Hero Association. It's just that he didn't release the monsters to cause trouble before, and the Hero Association also wanted to obtain his research results. Hee. Although he is a genius, he is also just a smart fool. There are at least 10 S-level heroes in the Hero Association who can kill you single-handedly. He has long been out of touch with the times. A mere dragon-level insect is his most perfect creation? That's wrong. It's just a stink bug. In my eyes, the insect that can't control the desire to kill is a semi-finished product. And you, who have the ability to regenerate clones, can be regarded as a result. But you are far from being immortal. Let me guess, if you die here now, and no mosquito inherits your genes, even if there is still a copy of you in Genos, is it still you? The Mosquito Girl's face finally changed when she heard this. Tao Qian's words hit her sore spot. Yes, even if Dr. Genos still has a copy of her genes, she can continue to produce herself, but is the remade self still herself? She didn't know how many cruel studies she had gone through to become what she is now from an ordinary woman. Is she willing to be destroyed like this? Dr. Tao, please let me go. I am willing to assist you in your research. The Mosquito Girl couldn't resist the fear in her heart after all. She lowered her eyebrows and expressed her submission. Ding. The ghost-level middle-level monster Mosquito Girl is convinced by you and is willing to be loyal to you. You can take her as your dependent. Do you agree?
Yes.
The moment Tao Qian made his choice, a name was refreshed in his dependent column. He can also check the current status of the dependent by selecting this name. At this moment, the Mosquito Girl suddenly felt a trance. When she came to her senses, the look she gave Tao Qian was completely devoid of hostility. There was only obedience and tameness. Master, please put me down, she said delicately. As soon as Tao Qian let go, she knelt on the ground. Please give me your orders, master. Subordinates, 1/3 Mosquito Girl. Advertisement possessing entries. Clone rebirth, purple. Control of mosquito swarm, purple. Sucking blood to resuscitate, blue. Flying, white. Clone rebirth, purple. When the energy is sufficient, a clone can be split to store genes. If the main body is killed, it can be reborn through the clone. Control of mosquito swarm, purple. It has a natural suppression on mosquitoes, can be used at will, and can quickly recover by absorbing the blood sucked by the mosquito swarm. There is a certain probability of continuing to evolve and mutate. Cooling down, blood-sucking resuscitation, blue. Quickly recover from injuries by sucking blood. Flight, white. Possess the ability to fly without wings. The entry can be copied without consuming kill points. Tao Qian nodded with satisfaction. He copied Rebirth of Clone, purple, casually, but he found that he couldn't use it. Rebirth of Clone, purple, requires insect genes to use. Damn, it's a waste. Tao Qian's eyes turned cold, and he wanted to kill the Mosquito Girl directly. Why didn't you say it couldn't be used earlier? It wasted one of his dependents in vain. He just found out that more places need to consume kill points to open. The Mosquito Girl seemed to have noticed something and trembled all over. Master, spare me. I am willing to lead the way. Dr. Genos has more information that may help you. Before I was transformed, I also had a doctorate in biology, and I will definitely be able to help you. Tao Qian took a deep breath. That's right, Genos seems to have cloned many of himself. This shows that this technology probably has development potential strength. And this woman has survived countless transformations, and she is also a doctor of biology, so she is useful. But this image is not convenient to show to others. He thought about it. He took out Maintain Human Form, White, from the entry library. In a flash, he sent it to the entry of the Mosquito Girl. The Mosquito Girl was suddenly shocked. There was an incredible look in her eyes. Then she trembled all over. After a long time, she twisted and turned in place like a snake shedding its skin. With a scratch of the claws, the skin was scratched. A big crack. Then, a pair of snow-white thighs slowly emerged from inside. Then, a naked body was placed in front of Tao Qian. Master, your greatness is beyond my words. Chapter 18. House of Evolution. Mosquito Girl lost? And it was just one punch? Genos, who is already 70 years old but still maintains a young figure, sits in front of the monitor. He looks at the surveillance footage from City Z with a solemn expression. Forget it. She is just a test subject. Why was the man who beat her to death naked? Is it a unique hobby? Genos clicks on the heroes he focuses on one by one. Blacklight, Metal Bat, Pig God, Dogman. The world now makes me more and more confused. Can a simple human body do this? Forget it. Catch him and study him carefully. Anyway, he is not affiliated with the Hero Association, and no one will care even if he disappears. Another me. What do you think? Opposite Dr. Genos' desk, there stands another Dr. Genos. Dr. Genos nodded upon hearing this. I'm right, that's what we should do. Then do it. Send our most proud product and bring him back. Haha, I'm looking forward to it. Z City No Man's Land. Saitama's house. Hello, good morning, Saitama-kun. Aha, are you the biochemical cyborg who was beaten to half by the monster yesterday? Tao Qian stood at the door of Saitama's house, smiling at the mechanical cyborg in front of him, and Saitama who came out from behind him. Genos looked at Tao Qian in front of him, and the information he looked up last night instantly came into play. Tao Qian, a doctor of biology and medicine. Advertisement, although he is not on the list of heroes of the Hero Association, he is suspected to have a good cooperative relationship with the Hero Association. It is said that he has deep friendships with many large conglomerates and wealthy people. In short, he is a scientist as mysterious and powerful as Dr. Kunos. The teacher is worthy of being a teacher. Any friend has this quality. It is worth learning. Genos was thinking frantically, and at the same time he reached out to Tao Qian. Hello, Dr. Tao, my name is Genos, and I am the disciple of Saitama teacher. Hey, Genos, I didn't accept you as my apprentice. Saitama protested behind him. The protest was invalid. Since you are Saitama's disciple, then you are my friend? Tao Qian laughed and laughed. It's a pity that I came in a hurry today and didn't bring any gifts. How about this? You can go to my laboratory when you have time to see if I can help you. If it were an ordinary person, such as Fubuki, he would be secretly happy to hear Tao Qian's promise and would carefully calculate to maximize the use of this promise. But the straightforward Bobi Genos shook his head. Dr. Tao, I appreciate your kindness. You are a doctor of biology, and I am a biochemically modified person. The implication is that he is almost 90% mechanized. What can Tao Qian, a doctor of biology, do to help him? And you still know that you are a biochemically modified person. Then why are you rushing to worship Saitama as your master? You know, the strength of biochemically modified people basically depends on transformation technology. The training methods of ordinary humans are completely useless to him. No, you can't be so sure. Combat awareness and experience are still very useful. The funding warrior in front of him is actually very strong in hard power. After all, it has a transformation ratio of up to 90%. Advertisement: if King is given a handle and allowed to control it, maybe he can compete for the top 3 positions in the Hero Association? Tao Qian nodded at him, and then carried a bunch of ingredients into Saitama's house. Hey, come if you want. What else do you want to bring? Saitama looked at the steak and mutton, and his saliva flowed from the corners of his mouth. But on the surface, while holding the bag tightly, he still had to be polite. Then he turned his head. Genos, hurry up, take out the pot, and have sukiyaki for lunch. Saitama shouted loudly. I still have to eat meat. I am full of strength now. Saitama put down his chopsticks and said comfortably. The budget warrior's eyes condensed, and he immediately took out his notebook to record it. Saitama turned back to look at him. By the way, Genos, where were we just talking about? The budget warrior's expression became serious. You just said that you only started training 3 years ago. I have experienced continuous and rigorous training that ordinary people cannot endure. I sweat profusely every day, and I feel like I have died once when I lie in bed at night. Saitama was a little stunned. What? Did I really say that? Forget it. It doesn't matter. Now I will pass on my powerful secret to you. As soon as he finished speaking, the budget warrior turned around. Teacher, something is approaching at high speed. Boom. The wall of Saitama's house was cut open by a pair of sharp blades. A mantis-like monster jumped in. My name is The intruder was hit by a ball of light from Tao Qian and evaporated directly. Ding. Detected lootable entries. Skilled swordsmanship, blue. In nature, mantises are natural masters of swordsmanship. Entry effect. Skilled in using dual swords to attack, and the damage of holding swords increases by 20%. When holding dual swords, the flexibility increases by 20%. Master of mimicry, blue. Mantises are born with the ability of mimicry and can increase the success rate of hunting through camouflage. Entry effect. Environmental concealment increases by 20%, and when pretending to be other people or animals, they get closer to the person or animal, and the probability of being discovered and exposed is reduced by 20%. You killed the tiger-level middle-level monster Mantis Man and obtained 150 kill points. Tao Qian threw 2 useless entries into the entry library. He turned his head and smiled at the bald man. Saitama-kun, a guest is here. But Saitama just looked at the big hole in the wall seriously. Damn it, I have to fix the ceiling again. Chapter 19. The Mantis Man who led the charge seems to have been killed. He disappeared in my heart point sensing. Outside the Saitama family building, a slug said to the toad beside him. Then, boom. Nothing else happened. Telepathy, blue, can actively sense energy reactions and biological reactions within a certain range. Sticky skin, blue, can actively secrete hallucinogenic mucus on the skin surface, which has a certain degree of defense. Long tongue, green, can actively extend the tongue as a weapon to capture small targets or attack enemies. Tao Qian shook his hands. Sometimes he was too lazy to deal with such ghost-level and wolf-level monsters. His vision was high, and he looked down on the mere blue items and a few hundred kill points. However, telepathy is also a good item. Although Tao Qian himself has the corresponding ability, after wearing it, it is like playing a game and opening a small map in the fog of war. The white ones are mortals. Tao Qian subconsciously glanced at Saitama. How the hell does he look like a mortal? The green ones have energy reactions, but they are safe targets for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. The closest one is Genos. The one approaching underground should be the groundhog, and the 2 approaching on the ground are the armored gorilla and the beast king. Tao Qian has a hunch that this should not belong to the function of telepathy, blue. It is probably the advanced effect produced by wearing it at the same time with Earth Apostle. It must be said that the term, Earth Apostle, contains a lot of secrets. When paired with many terms, it will produce a 1+12 effect. Well, of course, it is limited to the range of the Earth. Tao Jun, you move so fast. When Saitama jumped out, the monster had been evaporated by Tao Qian's 2 energy bombs. The bald man envied this ability. After all, although he is very strong, he can kill the monster with 1 punch. But it is still inevitable to have physical contact with the monster. If I know this trick, will I not get my clothes dirty in the future? Saitama's thoughts were scattered, and he didn't know which dimension he had floated to. Suddenly, a pair of claws stretched out from the ground, grabbed the bald man's legs and pulled them hard. An armored giant beast walked out from the street and smashed Genos who was blocking it. Haha, well done, Tulong. A burly lion-headed monster walked up with a grin. When he arrived in front of the bald man with only a boiled egg left on the ground, he stretched out his claws and pressed it. This is called being at a loss. Accept the reality, boiled egg. Facing the sudden opponent, Genos felt full of pressure. Advertisement teacher. While fighting with the armored gorilla, he shouted to Tao Qian, Doctor, you must have a way. At this time, Tao Qian leaned against the corner of the wall, watching the show leisurely. Instead, Saitama, who was dragged into the soil and unable to move, replied as he watched the boiled egg about to be blown up. Yawned Genos, you don't have to worry about me. The soil is cool and a little warm. I ate too much before and I'm a little sleepy. What? Boiled egg, do you want to understand what's going on before you speak? The Beast King laughed disdainfully. It seems that I have to make you understand what's going on now. Listen, in order to make you unable to resist, I'm going to destroy your eyes now. I, the Beast King, am not the kind of soft-hearted weirdo. No matter who I treat, I will not show mercy. But just as the Beast King was lying on the ground and saying harsh words to Saitama, the boiled egg came out of the soil as if it was on an automatic elevator. Hey, put aside the jokes. You guys, it's not too late to apologize now. I just remembered that my ceiling was broken by you guys. Faced with this sudden change, the Earth Dragon and the Beast King present were not prepared at all. The Earth Dragon knew how difficult this was, and he couldn't help but tremble and sweat. The Beast King was fine, and continued to speak harshly. Then let me show you the power of the Beast King. What? The soil fell into a strange place. Hey, are you listening? Don't worry, wait for me to pour the soil out. Oh, have you finished pouring it? The scene that was originally a bit solemn suddenly changed the style and became a funny one. The Earth Dragon dared not move. After a while, Saitama tied his belt. Okay, let's start. The Beast King's eyes condensed. A very dangerous red light burst out of his eyes. Then let me show you the power of the Beast King. Tremble under the overwhelming power. Lion slash. Like many animal monsters, the Beast King stretched out his claws a little bit, swung his arms, and launched a violent attack on the boiled egg. But his speed was still a little slow. The boiled egg in front of him always dodged lightly in the gap that was just a hair's breadth away. Only the ground, buildings, and public facilities were left in the place where they were chopped by the lion's claws and the airflow. Advertisement, the strong prey on the weak, which is the most basic law of the world. Under the power of my beast king, no one can escape. Facing the slippery boiled egg, the beast king was furious. Lion/flow group. This is the unique skill that the beast king is proud of, which can launch multiple lion slashes at the same time at a superb speed. It's useless. Saitama even had time to chat with Tao Qian on the side. Mr. Tao, you once said that you should exercise properly after a meal. I just tried it and it really feels much better. You are worthy of being a famous scientist. And Tao Qian, who was talking to him, took out a mobile phone from somewhere and was recording the scene at this time. A little to the right. Yes. Put a more serious expression on your face. Show a sense of urgency. Little cat, can you work harder? You're almost there. Push harder. Break that bald head, and I'll give you cat strips tonight. Beast King. Ouch. Seeing that he couldn't hit the boiled egg in front of him, the Beast King looked to the side, and his courage was rising. Stop talking nonsense. Look at my lion chop. Looking at the lion claws slashing towards him, Tao Qian was as calm as the boiled egg before. Just gently extended 2 fingers. Shwa, the sharp claw blade was caught in the air by just 2 fingers, unable to move. How is it possible? This is destined to be the moment when the Beast King reshapes his worldview. It is the second-ranked combat power in the House of Evolution. It has always believed that Azura is the first and itself is the second. If it weren't for the constraints of Dr. Genos, it could have conquered the world with its own strength. But it has only been out for a short period of time. Surprisingly, bang! After a muffled sound, the Beast King's head was directly evaporated by the energy bomb. No more surprising. Disobedient kittens will be beaten to death. Ding! The pleasant system prompt sounded. Immediately. Chapter 20. Beast King Body, Purple. A fusion monster image formed by the fusion of several beast genes, dominated by the image of a lion, with strong physical strength and vigorous vitality. Item effect. Transformed into a 1-foot-tall Beast King body, strength, defense, speed, toughness, and recovery speed increased by 100%. Fury, Purple. When the beast is attacked or strongly stimulated, it will involuntarily enter a furious attack state, greatly increasing strength and speed, and slightly reducing flexibility and defense. Item effect. After the target is locked, the damage to it increases by 100%, the strength and speed increase by 100% again, and the flexibility and defense decrease by 20%. Lion/flow group, Blue. A fast attack technique. Item effect. Use weapons to swing shock waves at an extremely fast speed, with a range of up to 50 meters, and all objects within the range may be shattered. Earthwalker, Green. A technique to advance in the land by digging quickly. Item effect. Increase the speed of movement in the soil by 50%. Tisk. It's useless. At Tao Qian's current level, ordinary purple entries are no longer enough for him to continue to improve, and the entries owned by these assassins are obviously of low quality. Tao Qian casually put it into the entry library and turned his head to look at the street on the other side. The battle between Genos and the armored gorilla there has also come to an end. The armored gorilla collapsed in the corner of the wall is still unruly. It is threatening the funding warrior with a robot-like tone. My strength can only rank 3rd in the House of Evolution. With your ability alone, you can't defeat the second-ranked Beast King. Just sit here and wait to die. At this moment, Tao Qian dragged the remains of the Beast King and appeared in front of it with Saitama. Which Beast King are you talking about? It. The armored gorilla was stunned for a moment, and then his eyes immediately became clear. Forgive me for being rude just now. I'll tell you everything you want to know. Please let me go. Aren't you a robot? You didn't speak in that tone just now. Sorry, I pretended to be cool because I thought it was cooler to speak like that. So can we talk properly now? Tell me your origins and purpose. Genos raised his hand, and the transmitter in his palm began to accumulate energy. There was a genius scientist in the past. He made a lot of contributions to mankind. People think of him, but therefore, advertisement Saitama, who had been bombarded with nonsense by Genos early in the morning, was speechless. Too long. What does this have to do with me? Stop talking nonsense and get to the point. Do you understand? Genos raised his arm again, and the incinerator was ready to go. Baga, stop talking nonsense. The teacher asked you to summarize it in 20 words. Sima, in short, our boss is very interested in your body. Bald head? Saitama. Saitama-kun, it seems that I am not the only one who is interested in you. Tao Qian said sarcastically. Okay, let's go and eliminate them. Saitama said. I don't want to miss the big sale in the supermarket tomorrow. At this time, he suddenly found that Tao Qian walked directly in front of him. Ah, Tao Jun, are you going too? Tao Qian shrugged. It's rare to meet a colleague. I am quite interested in him. Is that so? Then let's go together. Oh, by the way, Tao Jun, did you use superpowers just now? No, what's wrong? Oh, it's like this. I'm usually troubled. My hands are always sticky every time I go out, but I only have this set of clothes. So, Saitama-kun, do you want to learn? Tao-kun, can you? Please. Tao Qian took a deep breath. How should he explain to this boiled egg? He turned his head to look at the shiny bald head, and suddenly an idea popped into his mind. Of course, Saitama-kun, I think this move is very suitable for you. It's called the Spirit Bomb, which requires the spirit of all righteous people to launch. The more evil the opponent is, the greater its power will be. For a beginner like you, just raise your hands every day and shout to the sky. Friends on Earth, please give me spirit energy. If it doesn't work, just keep shouting. I really need everyone's help now. Raise your hands to the sky. Practice like this 100 times a day, and in time, you can use this trick to defeat the bad guys like me. Tao-kun, don't you feel ashamed to say such a thing? Saitama-kun, don't you live in an uninhabited area? The two walked on the street, facing the dazzling sunlight. Genos behind him pricked up his ears and wrote furiously with a notebook. The armored gorilla, who was lucky enough to keep his life, looked at the people going away and breathed a sigh of relief. Advertisement, no. We need to inform the doctor quickly. Then, its skull opened, revealing a small radio transmitter inside. Send what just happened back to the House of Evolution. Doctor, I tried my best. Outside City Z, in the vast mountains, a building stands abruptly in the forest. In the building, a group of Drs. Genos, who look exactly the same, are arguing fiercely in front of a large display screen. What? The elite troops used to destroy the old human army were annihilated? And the enemy is rushing here? If they come, the previous achievements will be destroyed. There is no other way. Force me to use my trump card? In that case, release the Azura rhinoceros beetle. Genos, you can't be so irresponsible. That madman. Once released, we will all die. But how can a group of clones compete with the original body for authority? You are all just my copies. As long as I am alive, I can have as many of your things as I want. For the survival of the House of Evolution, I have made up my mind. If you want to blame someone, blame that bald guy. With a command from Genos, the gate of the underground base of the House of Evolution was closed. The bloody killing also began. At this time, Saitama and others had just arrived by helicopter. Yawn. Saitama sneezed. Is someone scolding me? By the way, this is my first time riding a helicopter. It feels so novel, Mr. Tao. Chapter 21. I never thought that there would be such a magnificent building in such a deep forest. Where did he get the water and electricity? Saitama stood at the door of the House of Evolution, amazed. Mr. Tao, do you scientists like to conduct evil research in places like this? Tao Qian. No, I like to conduct evil research in downtown areas. Tao Qian thought about it. The insect god who was entrusted to the Mosquito Girl to do experiments. That should also be considered evil research. But why do I have the illusion that the insect god has gotten used to it? Tao Qian pushed his frameless glasses and decided to go back and increase the dosage. Anyway, monsters have no human rights, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, wow, a total of 8 floors. As soon as Saitama finished speaking, Genos next to him got ready. Boom. A heavyweight incineration cannon was fired, instantly hitting the building on the ground of the House of Evolution. The thick smoke produced by the violent explosion could be seen even dozens of kilometers away. When the smoke cleared, the original 8-story building had been razed to the ground. Even the mountain behind the building was razed to the ground. Master, I want to use this method to catch all the enemies. You searched the inside thoroughly, Genos. You are really smart. No matter, it's all thanks to Mr. Saitama's teaching. Tao Qian didn't want to listen to the two of them flattering each other, so he pointed to a door embedded in the ground somewhere. It seems there are underground facilities. Let's go. The endless underground corridor was very bright. It's completely different from what I thought. The underground is very spacious. It feels like an adventure, which makes people feel a little excited. Lu Dan looked around in the underground passage, as if he wanted to find some hidden compartments on the white walls to get the treasures hidden by the monsters. As the few people walked, Genos suddenly stopped. Teacher, Dr. Tao, there is a biological reaction ahead. Two guys are approaching us quickly. Before he finished speaking, a huge body suddenly appeared at the other end of the corridor. Oh, found it. There are three. Which one are you talking about? Ah, right, the one on the right. Yeah, then the other two are not needed. Advertisement. The huge body passed through the group of people directly. Boom. Crack. A muffled sound, followed by a crisp sound. Ah, Genos? What happened? Tao Jun, what are you holding in your hand? Genos seemed to be hit by some huge force, and his whole body was embedded in the wall. Tao Qian, who was closer to the wall than him, was holding something in his hand, which looked like the shell of some insect. Oh. It turns out there is a master. It seems I can play for a while longer. An extremely arrogant and annoying voice came from behind Saitama. Lu Dan and Tao Qian looked back. A huge weirdo was constantly scanning the two people with a cruel look. Saitama was sharp-eyed and just saw that the monster's left hand seemed to be missing a finger, but the flesh there was regenerating rapidly and would soon be restored. My name is Azura Rhinoceros Beetle. There is a laboratory dedicated to fighting here. Let's go there to fight. The monster's eyes paused on Tao Qian for a moment, then turned to look at Saitama. The person who made me said that you are a very rare experimental material. Experiment material? These two words seemed to bring back some bad memories for Saitama. He subconsciously glanced at Tao Qian. How dare you turn Genos into modern art? I'll beat you up. The weirdo looked at Tao Qian again. What about you? Are you coming too? Ah. Tao Qian sighed. He wanted to say that he was actually here to recruit assistants. He didn't really want to steal the highlight moment from the boiled egg. But since this weirdo wanted to die faster, Saitama-kun, how about leaving this to me? Tao Qian asked the boiled egg. Tao-kun, do you want to fight in person? Indeed. You killed all the garbage this morning. Huh. In that case, why should I come? Saitama once again fell into the abstract painting style that appeared out of nowhere. That's right. They tore down my roof, and I'm here to claim compensation. Hey, big guy, call out the person in charge here. Azura Rhinoceros Beetle. Advertisement, are you sick? I want to fight with you, and you want me to ask someone to repair your roof? Then, the ugly face of the rhinoceros beetle began to smile sinisterly. Hee, it seems that you are quite confident, or you are using changing the subject to cover up your timidity. Okay, I don't care who goes up first. Today, none of you can leave here. I said, this is the largest room in the base. The test subjects will fight here, to test whether they can serve as combat power. Now, let's start fighting. The Azura Rhinoceros Beetle looked at Tao Qian with a grim smile. I can't wait. Then, boom, a burst of flames shot out from the door. Unfortunately, this high-temperature flame that can melt gold and iron did not cause even the slightest damage to the monster. The Rhinoceros Beetle looked at Genos, who appeared at the door with interest. Are you still alive? Under its teasing gaze, Genos, with cracks on his face, leaped up. With full firepower, he attacked the monster at a very fast speed. Machine gun fire punch. But, faced with such a fierce attack, Azura Rhinoceros Beetle just spit out two words with disdain. Idiot. Pa. It just slapped Genos away like a mosquito around it. Even in one breath, it blew back Genos's attack that flattened the ground building. This is my power. The monster's cruel eyes locked onto Tao Qian tightly. Next, it's your turn. Chapter 22. Feeling the prying eyes at the door, Tao Qian sighed. He didn't want to stay here for too long, but he also wanted to show off his strength in front of Genos. In this case, it's better to fight quickly. He looked at the Azura Rhinoceros Beetle. Come on. Before he finished speaking, the Azura Rhinoceros Beetle disappeared in front of him in an instant. In the eyes of different people, the monster at this time is different. Genos looked at a group of afterimages and couldn't help shouting, so fast. Saitama looked at the circling insect with interest. Ma, is this a special fetish? Or is it the starting move of some strange moves? As a mortal, Genos could not see anything and only thought in his heart. Azura rhinoceros beetle, the most terrible demon in history created by the House of Evolution. As a human being today, how would you deal with this final product of artificial evolution? Which of you two will become the opportunity to trigger human evolution? Let me wait and see. And Tao Qian just stood there bored. In the small map in his mind, what he saw was a green dot representing Azura rhinoceros beetle. What's so terrible? In a flash, Azura rhinoceros beetle keenly noticed the moment when Tao Qian seemed to be distracted. Pow! It flashed behind Tao Qian, grinning and raised its fist. The winner is determined. Genos turned his eyes away from Tao Qian in disappointment and looked at Saitama. But what he didn't expect was, in the next moment, the wings behind the Azura rhinoceros beetle suddenly opened. Accompanied by a buzzing sound, the most powerful creature in the history of the House of Evolution flew directly to the other end of the hall. What? The Azura rhinoceros beetle retreated. Genos felt absurd and shocked. Who was that man? Standing still in the same place. Could he scare off the Azura rhinoceros beetle? Could it be? A terrible possibility appeared in Genos' mind. Advertisement, is he too fast and I didn't see it? Sure enough, although my body has regained its youth, is it still too weak? What does that feel like? The Azura rhinoceros beetle, who pressed himself against the wall, was sweating profusely from all parts of his body. If I had made a move just now, I would have been killed. The Azura rhinoceros beetle's heart was pounding. This terrible premonition made him simply unacceptable. My intuition has never been wrong. Who is this guy? He's full of flaws. But my intuition gave me the most serious warning. This is the first time since it was born that it feels that it is really possible to die. Fear arouses anger, and anger breaks through reason. The Azura rhinoceros beetle roared loudly. Baga, where did you get such a powerful force? What? Everyone's eyes were focused on Tao Qian. Saitama's eyes were confused. He didn't know what the meaning of coming here was. Genos' eyes were inquiring. He recalled the moves that Tao Qian taught Saitama on the road. Does that kind of shameful practice method really work? And Genos was shocked by his broken worldview. I have been a genius among geniuses since I was a child, and I even thought that I was the only true scientist in the world. But, are the young people nowadays ahead of me? Genos recalled the information he got from the outside network. The tall, handsome, and well-mannered young man in front of him is also a doctor of biology. He must have mastered more advanced evolutionary technology. If I can get him... Genos' heart was burning. What he had been pursuing for decades was right in front of him. Powerful method? Tao Qian had a sly smile on his lips. Do you want to know too? Tao Qian looked around and found that except for the boiled egg, everyone, including Azura rhinoceros beetle, had a look of desire. Advertisement, okay, I'll tell you. By the way, Saitama-kun, you can share your thoughts later. Saitama, who was called, was stunned. Is there any part for me here? Okay, I'll share my thoughts after you finish sharing. From Saitama's perspective, I got the power after hard training. Tao Qian, of course, must be similar. And since I can do it, then others can do it as long as they train in their own way. Right? Ahem, then I'm going to say it. A great philosopher once said this: the poor rely on mutation, the rich rely on technology. When this was said, everyone's faces were different. Mutation? Technology? Is it really the power of technology? Genos looked excited. I am a biochemically modified person, so I should rely on technology, but I am not rich. However, is it really appropriate for Dr. Tao to say this in front of the enemy? Genos looked tangled. Lu Dan looked puzzled. He was a complete poor guy. Could it be? He blurted out, did I mutate into a weirdo, but I didn't know it? Ahem, Saitama. You are different. Tao Qian quickly comforted him. He then added, and this is nonsense. In my opinion, it is actually very simple to become stronger. As long as you have the determination to become stronger and strong execution, the most important thing is to have the perseverance to stick to the arduous training plan. Training? The expressions of everyone were different. It is neither a body modification nor a gene modification. How can it be possible to rely on training alone? Genos narrowed his eyes and became suspicious. Is it actually training? What kind of training is it? If I can master this training method... Azura rhinoceros beetle was still sweating, but it was already interested. Tao Qian crossed his arms and exuded a terrifying aura. Listen carefully, I will only say this once. Chapter 23. And this way of training can also cultivate a powerful move. I named it Spirit Bomb. Spirit Bomb. Just hearing the name, it feels full of vitality. Everyone on the field had different expressions. Mr. Tao, is the method you said during the day true? Saitama scratched his scalp and asked with a little surprise. Tao Qian ignored him, but continued. And practicing Spirit Bomb requires certain prerequisites. This is the secret I summed up after countless failures. You know, it took me 6 months from the beginning to now. What? 6 months? Are you kidding? This time even Saitama was a little surprised, and even a little ashamed of himself. You know, he has been practicing for 3 years. First, Tao Qian raised a finger. You can't miss 3 meals a day, and you must keep up with nutrition, even if you only eat a banana in the morning. Second, regarding the training of willpower, I have 2 ways. The first one, if you are a pauper, then I suggest you don't turn on the air conditioner regardless of winter or summer. Although it will be uncomfortable at first, as long as you get used to it, it won't matter. Genos, Azura rhinoceros beetle. What are you talking about? Saitama. What? Did Tao Jun have the same difficult period as me? Also, why do I feel so familiar? Is he talking about my words? Genos, teacher, you. Tao Qian continued to talk. The second way, if you are a scientist like me, that is, a rich person, you don't have to go through so much trouble. Just go to KTV every day, find a large group of PR ladies, let them flirt in front of you, but you can hold back. Friendly reminder, this can also make you calm. Everyone. Tisk, only Saitama thought. What? Tao Jun has never been poor, right? I have an inexplicable sense of loss. What's going on? Finally, Tao Qian shouted loudly. Raise your hands high every day and shout to the sky. Friends on Earth, please, please give me your vitality. I really need your help now. Raise your hands to the sky. Advertisement, just shout it 100 times a day, and keep doing it for at least 100 days. You will become stronger. Hole. What are you kidding? Can you become stronger with that kind of shameful slogan? If you can become stronger like this, what's the point of my decades of hard work and research? Unexpectedly, the first person who couldn't stand the outburst was Dr. Genos. That's right. The Azura rhinoceros beetle on the side was already furious at this time. It doesn't matter if you don't want to say it. I'm not strong anyway. Accompanied by the sudden alarm sounded in the underground base, the Azura rhinoceros beetle's form began to change dramatically. The horn instantly lengthened by more than double. The carapace and muscles all over the body began to expand continuously. It was originally only 10 feet high, but it grew to 3 feet in just a moment. The original yellow beetle armor also turned purple and green after releasing energy. Ashura mode. Genos blurted out, his tone full of panic. It's over. I'm dead. In this mode, he will lose his mind for a whole week and attack all creatures he sees indiscriminately. Genos smiled bitterly. Originally, I still had a copy hidden deep in the base, but looking at the current situation, he may not be able to escape. The House of Evolution is probably going to become history. He looked at the Azura rhinoceros beetle who had completed the transformation and was attacking Tao Qian with all his strength, his tone full of desolation. I don't care what means you used to deceive my intuition before. Now I want you to die. The rhinoceros beetle entered the Azura mode, probably because the animal instinct has failed. Its eyes were bloodshot, and its eyes were full of cruel, murderous intent. After killing you, I will kill the boiled egg. Then I will go to the nearby city and kill all humans until next Saturday. The Azura rhinoceros beetle suddenly jumped up at a speed more than twice faster than before. The violent fist smashed towards Tao Qian with all its strength. Die! Bang! The deafening explosion sounded in everyone's ears. The smoke cleared. The Azura rhinoceros beetle half-knelt in front of Tao Qian. Boom! Its huge body fell to the ground. Advertisement, this. How is this possible? Genos' 3 views were overturned too many times in a row on this day. Maybe he has gotten used to it. Among the crowd, only Saitama saw clearly what happened just now. Facing the violent fist of the Azura rhinoceros beetle, Tao Qian just stretched out his hand and lightly tapped. An extremely huge ball of light fell from the ceiling above his head. It evaporated the head of the rhinoceros beetle in an instant. It was easy and carefree, far from needing to punch like himself. What? Could he be telling the truth? Can the spirit bomb really be cultivated like that? It's really embarrassing. But if it's to avoid washing clothes… Anyway, I live in an uninhabited area. Tao Qian stretched out a finger and pointed to the sky. The entry was activated. A ball of light slowly formed in the air. He pointed casually and hit the wall directly, blowing a big hole. It's not technology, nor is it a superpower. This is the spirit bomb. How is it? Saitama, fighting spirit. It's burning. I want to learn this. Genos, should I try it too? Genos, what has humanity become in the decades since I left? But at this moment, no one really believes it anymore. Tao Qian secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, I gathered 100-fold energy bomb under the cover of speaking. Otherwise, with the current strength, it would take more effort to kill that bug. Just then, the pleasant reminder sounded again. Ding. Found a lootable entry. Chapter 24. Animal Intuition, Purple. Through the comprehensive perception of airflow, chemical signals, bioelectric reactions, etc. in a certain environment, it can predict danger a short time in advance. Entry effect. The biological perception distance increases by 100%, and it can easily obtain the hostility of other targets towards oneself. Azura Fury, Purple. Release all the energy in the body to enter the second stage of transformation, and all attributes except reason are temporarily enhanced. Entry effect. Strength, defense, toughness, and speed are comprehensively improved by 300%, and rational thinking ability is reduced by 90%. The effect lasts for 168 hours. Iron, Ingot Heavy Armor, Purple. Super strong armor born from the genes of the iron ingot beetle, with extremely high defense. Item effect. Possessed a layer of armor that can withstand physical pressure 30,000 times its own weight. Super strong warrior, Purple. Able to drag weights exceeding 800 times its own weight and lift weights exceeding 300 times its own weight. Rhinoceros fighting technique, Blue. A fighting technique learned with the horn on its head. Aggressive, Blue. Aggressive by nature, the probability of fighting with other creatures increases by 50%. You killed the middle-level dragon-level monster Azura, Rhinoceros Beetle, and gained 7,500 kill points. Azura Rhinoceros Beetle has many items. It's just that most of them don't mean much to Tao Qian. Merge, Animal Intuition, Purple, and Super Strong Warrior, Purple, and store other items. At this time, Tao Qian found another new message. Found a fusionable item. Fusion. Tao Qian casually opened his own attributes and took a look. Name, Tao Qian, race, human/evolved, disaster level, dragon, kill points, 34,856, subordinates, Mosquito Girl, entries, Earth Apostle, orange, Energy Storm, purple, Guardian Transformation, purple, Horse Endurance, purple, Ant Strength, purple, Super Tough Nerves, purple, Advanced Environmental Adaptation, purple, 9 Lives, purple, Crevice Wandering, purple, Hiding Technique, purple, Amazing Wisdom, purple, Super Astrus Muscle Potential, purple, Animal Intuition, purple, Super, Strong Warrior, purple, Strong Muscle, blue, Strong Skin, blue, Donkey, blue, Expand, Entry Library, expand. Among them, the fusion entries that can be used are slightly shining. Animal Intuition and Telepathy, Dangerous Smell, Advertisement, Super Strong Warrior and Ant Strength. Oh, there are also the Super Muscle Potential and the Horse's Endurance, Strong Muscles, and Tough Skin that were previously ignored. And fusion is a sub-function of the upgrade function. It means to fuse the same type of entries, which is a disguised replacement for using kill points to improve the attributes or colors of the entries. After all, the attribute bonuses given by the same type of entries cannot be superimposed. For example, the power of an ant is to lift 400 times its own weight. The Super Strongman is in the range of 300 to 800 times. If you ignore it, then Tao Qian's actual attribute is to drag 800 times his body weight and lift 400 times his body weight. It's really too complicated. Then let's fuse it. As Tao Qian made a decision. In his mind, many entries turned into light spots of different colors, and the light spots of the same color or similar colors approached each other, attracted each other, and merged. I don't know how long it took. Maybe it's just the next moment after making a choice. Ding. Fusion is successful. You get the following entries. Extreme Survival, orange. Resistance to continuous damage is increased by 200%, and presence and hiding are increased by 50%. You can actively enter the turtle rest state, in which energy consumption is reduced by 90%, and presence and hiding are reduced by an additional 50%. This state has a cooldown time of 72 hours. After receiving a fatal attack, you can enter a suspended state, and the recovery speed is increased by 200%. This state has a cooldown time of 1 year. Super Strong Warrior, purple, go all out. Every attack can exert maximum strength, and the strength is increased by 600%. Superman Potential, purple, black iron body. Physical attributes are enhanced by 150% in all directions, and the enhancement efficiency is increased by 100%. Environmental Perception, purple, can perceive biological data and hostility values within a certain range. Note: hostility values are for reference only. Unexpectedly, the second orange entry is a survival entry. Forget it, it's better than nothing. After a series of fusions, Tao Qian's entry column was cleared. Entries: Earth Apostle, orange, Extreme Survival, orange, Super Strong Warrior, purple, Superman Potential, purple, Environmental Perception, purple, Energy Storm, purple, Guardian Transformation, purple, Crevice Wandering, purple, Amazing Wisdom, purple, Electric Boy, blue. Advertisement: the effect of the fused entries is indeed significantly improved. What about upgrading? Tao Qian cast his eyes on Earth Apostle, orange. This is his most powerful entry at present, no one else. Its strength lies in the fact that the attribute increase in the limited Earth environment can be superimposed with other entries. Although the universe is huge, no matter which anime world, most of the plot actually takes place on the Earth. Upgrading is definitely worth it. Make up your mind. Do you want to upgrade the entry, Earth Apostle, orange? This upgrade will consume 10,000 kill points. Yes. As Tao Qian's mind moved, he only felt an incomparable energy surging from his feet. A blinding white light covered the entry, Earth Apostle, orange. Wait until the light fades. Upgrade successful. Congratulations on obtaining the entry, Earth Moon Apostle, orange. Earth Moon Apostle? Tao Qian looked at the entry attributes with expectation. What? Entry effect. In the Earth Moon environment, physical qualities are improved by 300%, and the recovery speed is accelerated by 500%. Damn, a full 10,000 kill points. Just expand the effective range a little bit? Tao Qian's face turned red instantly. I don't believe it. Give me another upgrade. Do you want to upgrade the entry, Earth Moon Apostle, orange? This upgrade will consume 20,000 kill points. Yes. In an instant, a blinding golden light enveloped his eyes. Golden legend? Chapter 25. Gold. In the Earth Moon environment, physical qualities are increased by 400%, and the recovery speed is accelerated by 750%. Well, that's it. Although it is only a small increase from 300% to 400%. But don't underestimate the increase in physical quality by one time. After all, this is locked to Tao Qian's own attributes. If he was just an ordinary person, the increase of 3 or 4 times would only be the level of a C-level hero. But he is not an ordinary person now. Black iron body. Stabilize my attributes. Even if there is only 1 drop of blood left, I can still exert 100% of my strength. Black iron body is just an orange upgrade item. Will there be silver body, gold body, diamond body, or even eternal body? Whether it is the world or the system itself, there are so many secrets. Tao Qian's body was surging with surging power. Even Saitama noticed it and looked over. What's wrong, Saitama-kun? Can't wait to share the powerful secret. Tao Qian smiled. Saitama was stunned, and then he saw Genos and Genos' expectant eyes. Teacher Saitama, please teach me the secret of becoming stronger. The asterisk biochemical robot, who obviously cannot be improved by training, is already a little impatient. Genos also held his glasses and looked at the target he originally wanted to study. The training plan of the other Dr. Tao sounds ridiculous. I want to know if there is a more normal training method. Don't worry. My training plan is absolutely normal, Saitama answered confidently. But no matter how hard it is, you must stick to it. Lu Dan looked at the 2 people in front of him with a serious expression. It took me 3 whole years to practice to the current level. At this point, Lu Dan suddenly turned into a strong man. He shouted loudly with an unwavering tone. 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats. Except for Tao Qian, the 2 people were all confused. Another thing is to run 10 kilometers every day. Saitama raised his mouth and raised a finger in front of the 2 people with infinite confidence. Every day, no matter it is windy or rainy, no matter it is summer or winter. As long as you have the determination to persevere, you can't give up even if you train hard to vomit blood. Finally, no matter how poor and hard it is, you must maintain 3 meals a day, even if you only eat a banana in the morning. Saitama glanced at Tao Qian quickly. He was about to blurt out banana, but he remembered that the other party seemed to have just said this sentence. So he had to temporarily change his words to sausage. Next, of course, I agree with what Dr. Tao said before. Whether it is summer or winter, not turning on the air conditioner is a very effective way to exercise willpower. In short, even if your legs are heavy, you must continue squatting. Even if your arms make a sound, you must continue push-ups. After I trained like this for a year and a half, I noticed changes in my body. I'm bald. Advertisement, I'm getting stronger. I'm training myself to death with the momentum of not caring about baldness. This is the only secret to being strong. You bunch of idiots are talking about new humans, people who pin their hopes on evolution. You will never reach my level. Becoming stronger by relying on yourself is the real strength of humans. Genos. Genos, are you kidding me? Genos, teacher, you really? Stop kidding me. Huh. Saitama instantly changed from a strong man back to a boiled egg and made a sound of doubt. Genos stood up with difficulty. That's just a very ordinary exercise. And the intensity is not high. It's a normal level that everyone can do. Even if you let us ask for people's vitality like Dr. Tao. Teacher, I have reasons to become stronger. I'm not here to listen to your jokes. Saitama just felt a little puzzled. Genos, but this is the fact. I have said everything I should say. There is nothing else. If you don't believe me, ask Tao Jun. After we met, he watched me train. Suddenly, Saitama turned his head to look at Tao Qian with a subtle expression. Well, I remember, Tao Ju. You said poverty before. You are not talking about me. Hey, this kid is not stupid. But how could Tao Qian admit that he was an yin and yang? Decisively ignore this problem. He saw the inquiring eyes of the fund warrior and nodded in disappointment. Yes, Genos, Saitama-kun does only do these training every day, but don't be discouraged. After all, scientifically speaking, everyone's body is different, and you don't understand the true meaning of Saitama-kun. What he wants to say is that persistence is the key. Even a bald young man like him can gain powerful strength through perseverance. And after I went through the shameful training you call it, I mastered the spirit bomb and the practice of spirit. Instead of saying that everyone has to go through cruel tests and painful experiments before they can gain strength with the help of things other than humans, persistence and hard work are the only secrets to being strong. Tao Qian talked freely in front of several people. Ah, yes, yes, yes. Lu Dan nodded like a chick pecking at rice. That's what I want to say. Genos also looked convinced. Is that so? It seems that I have wronged the teacher. Teacher Saitama. I'm sorry, I shouldn't doubt you. Only Dr. Genos, who is also highly intelligent, still expressed doubts about this. But Tao Qian's next sentence broke down his psychological defenses. And you, Dr. Genos, although you have used the power of technology, look at yourself. Can the process and experience of regaining your youth be extended to everyone? Sometimes, as long as you think about the problem from a different angle, you will get a different answer. Advertisement, ah? So that's it. Dr. Genos looked down at his hands. He was once a super genius among billions. He has also led projects with trillions of funds. But looking back, he suddenly realized it at this time. I don't know when it started, but I seem to have walked into a dead end. Too persistent to place hope on physical and genetic modification. Instead, a lot of things are ignored. I know. Thinking about this clearly, Dr. Genos felt that he had entered a state of seeing through life and death and felt relieved. How are you going to deal with me? Kill me? Or send me to the police station? Tao Qian looked at Lu Dan after hearing this. Saitama-kun, what do you think? Saitama scratched his scalp. It seems that your people broke the ceiling of my house. You have to fix it for me. Tao Qian asked Genos again. Genos, what about you? Genos thought for a while. What I want to know, the gorilla has already told me before. Genos. Such a big fanfare. Is it just for such a small matter as repairing the roof? He took a deep breath and looked at Tao Qian. Dr. Tao, how do you want to deal with me? Tao Qian took out a gold-stamped business card in front of him. Dr. Genos, please allow me to reintroduce myself. My last name is Tao, and I claim to have a doctorate in biology and medicine. But I don't. But it doesn't matter. I came here for another purpose. At present, I own a state-of-the-art biological laboratory, and I have cooperation projects from several large organizations including the Hero Association. Ahem. My laboratory is short of staff, and I came here to ask the doctor to come out and assist me in my research work. I apologize for the offense before. Why didn't you say it earlier? Genos took a deep breath and wanted to refuse. What qualifications do I have? You want me to be your assistant? But when he was about to speak, he saw the spirit bomb in Tao Qian's hand. Genos took the business card with both hands. I am honored to work with Dr. Tao.
Thanks for watching. You can find the next videos in the playlist linked in the info card, directly on my channel, or right here on the screen. And as always, if you have any feedback, feel free to share it in the comments too.